Chapter 3361, Glacier Beast Horde, facing the enemy head-on. This sudden massive cold surge was not simple in Lin Moyu's eyes. It came too abruptly, without any warning signs, unlike what Little May had described. There should be some signs before a cold surge erupts, enough for people to evacuate, not as sudden as this. Whether the cold surge or the glacier beasts, they were all related to that power suppressed beneath the glacier, with the core being the remnant soul. However, seeing is believing. Lin Moyu stopped thinking too much about it. He would know when the time came. Lin Moyu stood motionless, allowing the cold air to invade his body. Standing in the cold surge, Lin Moyu felt no discomfort. Whether his physical body or soul, both were immune to the cold surge, feeling no pressure at all. The power Great Tao is indeed marvelous. Once immunity is achieved, as long as it's the same type of power, no matter how its strength changes, it can't break through the immunity. Experiencing the wonder of the power Great Tao again, the cold surge's power was clearly stronger, but its essence hadn't changed. So it couldn't break through the immunity to harm him. Lin Moyu stood in the cold surge, moving against it. As he passed through the entire cold surge, besides the wind, he heard other sounds. But once they started running, their feet striking the glacier would make impact sounds. Judging from the sound, the number of approaching glacier beasts was extremely large, at least several hundred. Several hundred, they really think highly of me. Lin Moyu wasn't afraid at all. If it were before, he would definitely have turned and left. Fighting against several hundred 9th level Tao Venerable glacier beasts, he would certainly have been finished. They had no souls, weren't living beings. Their corpses after death were ice shards. Though they had power, they couldn't be used as material for corpse explosions. Unable to use corpse explosions to quickly clear enemies, he would need to fight head-on, impossible to win. But now, with the skeleton hell about to advance, as long as he could kill one or two, once the skeleton hell advanced, not just several hundred glacier beasts, even several times more wouldn't be a problem. Lin Moyu had made up his mind to use this batch of glacier beasts to let the skeleton hell complete its advancement. Incidentally, he could also let the skeleton hell have a full meal. There were about 300 glacier beasts of various appearances. In the 7th extreme glacier, there must be more glacier beasts than just this many. The reason only this many came, Lin Moyu felt, was because the other party could only control this many. The remnant soul's power is limited. To create the cold surge and simultaneously control so many glacier beasts, this might already be its limit. Su Pu appeared beside him. Lin Moyu smiled and said, "Su Pu, how many can you handle?" Su Pu answered honestly, 10 shouldn't be a problem. With Su Pu's power, dealing with 10 really wasn't a problem. But it wasn't 1 against 10, it was being able to kill 10 out of several hundred. The difficulty was completely different. However, the premise was that they didn't merge. Once they merged, it wouldn't be so easy. Lin Moyu said, "Is there a way to quickly kill a few?" Su Pu said, "Yes, I can quickly kill 2. Lin Moyu smiled and said, "That's fine then. You kill 2, I'll kill a few too." Origin technique. Gather strength. A strange aura rose from Lin Moyu's body as the origin technique activated with a boom. His power rose rapidly, instantly reaching 6th level Tao Venerable, then breaking through the bottleneck to enter 7th level Tao Venerable. After entering 7th level Tao Venerable, his power continued to increase, breaking through again to reach 8th level Tao Venerable. Without using the Great Tao Undying Pill, 8th level Tao Venerable was currently the limit. This was because his physical body and soul had broken through to 7th level Tao Venerable. Otherwise, Gather Strength could at most push to 7th level Tao Venerable, not even reaching the peak. The gap between 7th and 6th level Tao Venerable was too large. After 7th level, the gap between each level was even larger. With 8th level Tao Venerable power, Lin Moyu still wasn't a match for any single glacier beast. However, Lin Moyu hadn't planned to fight the glacier beasts head-on. Light flickered in his hand as the Calamity Scepter appeared. He planned to use the Calamity Scepter to quickly deal with a few glacier beasts. The killed glacier beasts would naturally become food for the skeleton hell. If his judgment wasn't wrong, after eating a few more glacier beasts, the skeleton hell should be able to advance. Then all problems would be easily solved. As the glacier beast horde rapidly approached, Lin Moyu shouted, "Attack!" He and Su Pu split up to attack. Su Pu instantly transformed into his true form, becoming a 1,000-meter tall heavenly fox. His 8 tails merged into one, evolving to become 10,000 meters long, whipping out with a boom. The glacier shook violently, heaven and earth shattered, the entire space was broken. Large numbers of glacier beasts were whipped flying, sent in all directions. Suku grabbed the cloud-piercing sword and slashed. The cloud-piercing sword also grew incredibly large along with his body. With a boom, he again slashed, flying a large number of glacier beasts. After being whipped flying, the glacier beasts quickly stabilized and charged back. But Suku didn't care about these, instead focusing on one of them, bombarding it wildly. He needed to kill quickly. This was Lin Moyu's order, and also the highest directive. Regardless of cost, regardless of life or death. The space around Lin Moyu distorted as vast numbers of skeleton god generals appeared in the world. The skeleton god generals would freeze to death within 2 seconds of appearing, but this wasn't important. What was important was that they had appeared. Even if frozen to death, becoming ice sculptures, they could still briefly separate the glacier beasts. Reality was as Lin Moyu had imagined. Millions of skeleton god generals successfully briefly separated the glacier beasts. The Thunder Lich then appeared. A drop of ancestor water flew out. The power of belief burned fiercely. The seal of the divine talisman army shone brightly. Ancestor water, power of belief, seal enhancement, all methods were used simultaneously. Chain lightning. A bolt of lightning struck out, landing on a glacier beast. Then the dazzling lightning exploded with a boom. All 300 glacier beasts, without exception, were struck by lightning. Not just the glacier beasts, even beneath the glacier, lightning appeared. The glacier beasts were controlled by that remnant soul beneath the glacier. The chain lightning naturally wouldn't let this controller go. Screams rang out in Lin Moyu's soul, followed by intense killing intent. However, this killing intent was like a gentle breeze to him, completely unfelt. The glacier beast's movements slowed in the lightning, which had a paralyzing effect. Lin Moyu charged out from within the lightning, raising his speed to the extreme. He rushed in front of the nearest glacier beast, violently swinging the calamity scepter to smash the glacier beast's foot. The glacier beast's foot shattered like tofu. Its huge body crashed down with a boom. Lin Moyu's hand rose and fell, smashing non-stop. Wherever the calamity scepter went, the glacier beasts' bodies were shattered to pieces. The glacier beasts had no souls. Unlike the outer realm divine gods, he couldn't directly shatter their souls for an instant kill. To kill a glacier beast, he had to smash it to pieces. In the blink of an eye, one glacier beast was smashed to pieces. The space beside Lin Moyu distorted as the skeleton hell suddenly appeared. Hell fiends pounced out, beginning to devour. At this time, large numbers of glacier beasts smashed through the barrier formed by the skeleton god generals, charging towards Lin Moyu to kill him. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real Life Player. Your Girlfriend Was Amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my P at TR30N. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My P at Trian is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3362, 3362. Chapter 3362, Where is the limit of the skeleton hell? Looking at the approaching glacier beasts, Lin Moyu's will moved, and the skeleton hell's range rapidly expanded, enveloping a large number of glacier beasts within it. Each glacier beast had to simultaneously face tens of thousands of hell fiends. The glacier beasts were after all 9th level Dao Venerables with powerful combat strength. Their cold air erupted unrestrained, forcibly lowering even the skeleton hell's temperature significantly. Even the lava showed signs of freezing. Lin Moyu ordered some hell fiends to fully devour the glacier beast he had killed, while he himself charged towards another glacier beast. Large amounts of fragments were thrown into the skeleton hell. Suku quickly killed a glacier beast and threw its shattered corpse in for the hell fiends to devour. As Lin Moyu charged out, many glacier beasts rushed over, launching attacks at him. Accompanied by dragon roars, Heiyu charged out from the netherworld black pool. Its huge body blocked in front of Lin Moyu, shielding him from most of the attacks. The glacier beast's attacks landed on Heiyu, beating it until its skin split and flesh showed. Its huge body froze into ice, almost breaking apart. However, Heiyu didn't retreat, forcibly persisting there. Lin Moyu took the opportunity to kill his way to a glacier beast's front, raising the calamity scepter to smash down hard. The Thunder Lich cooperated well with Lin Moyu, again unleashing lightning, using its paralyzing effect to slow the glacier beast's speed. Cyan light illuminated the sky as spider lilies swayed non-stop. All glacier beasts touched by the light slowed down. Lin Moyu quickly closed in, smashing down with his scepter. He still aimed for the legs. The glacier beasts were tall, so smashing their legs was most effective. It was hard to imagine that battles at the 9th level Dao Venerable level weren't spell bombardments or outpourings of great Dao power, but close combat, exchanging punches and scepter blows. Under the calamity scepter, the glacier beast's legs shattered like tofu. Its huge body crashed down with a boom. Lin Moyu seized the opportunity to leap up, giving the glacier beast a full body massage from head to toe. Boom! An enormous force struck Lin Moyu, blasting him flying thousands of meters. Heiyu couldn't block all the attacks. Some still landed on Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's skin split and flesh showed. His body was almost half crippled. As cold air invaded, the power Great Dao frantically mobilized his blood essence. The vast life force within the power Great Dao healed Lin Moyu's injuries. The attack power of a 9th level Dao Venerable was strong enough. One hit severely injured Lin Moyu. Another hit would likely kill him. However, Lin Moyu wasn't worried. Dragging his severely injured body, he charged over again. The glacier beast he had just attacked only had half its life left. He couldn't easily let it go. Heiyu let out a scream. Facing attacks from over 100 glacier beasts, it retreated step by step, its body almost shattered. But it was the Netherworld Black Dragon. As long as the Netherworld Black Pool existed, it wouldn't truly die. The Hell Fiends pounced recklessly, not caring about their own deaths, just to entangle the glacier beasts. Suku's side was under even more pressure. He focused on killing one glacier beast, which was clearly about to fall. But other glacier beasts had begun to surround and attack him. Suku's 8 fox tails behind him swung frantically, transforming into shields to block most of the attacks. He was fine for now, but it couldn't last. Lin Moyu erupted with full power, disregarding his own injuries to instantly cross thousands of meters, again arriving before that half-dead glacier beast. He again raised the calamity scepter to smash down. The sound of striking iron rang out as his hand rose and fell, smashing it to pieces. At this time, Heiyu finally couldn't hold on. With a scream, its body was beaten into 2 halves. The lower half of its body quickly retracted. Vast black mist rushed out from the Netherworld Black Pool, also pulling back the severed upper half of the body. At this moment, Suku violently threw over a pile of shattered corpses. He had finally completed his mission, quickly killing 2 glacier beasts. With Heiyu no longer blocking, many glacier beasts charged towards Lin Moyu. Attacks covered the sky. Retreat! Lin Moyu shouted, quickly retreating. Suku also retreated in response. The glacier beasts chased after the 2 like mad, equally fearless of death, holding nothing back. The Hell Fiends had already dragged the 2 killed glacier beasts into the lava, devouring them rapidly. The skeleton hell's aura was quickly growing stronger. It had already reached the critical point earlier. As these 4 9th level Dao Venerable glacier beasts were devoured, the skeleton hell finally broke through the critical point, stepping into a new level. The skeleton hell's aura rose frantically. Flames shot to the sky. In an instant, the skeleton hell expanded to its maximum, covering an area of 10,000 kilometers in radius. The glacier was solid. The skeleton hell couldn't spread downwards, only frantically extending towards the sky and in all directions. The skeleton hell spread so quickly, instantly enveloping all the glacier beasts within it. Flames erupted violently, like countless volcanoes erupting simultaneously. The scene was spectacular. The lava that had almost frozen earlier completely recovered. The Hell Fiends screamed and howled. The Hell Fiends that had died earlier all revived at this moment. The Hell Fiends' aura rose sharply. Their numbers hadn't increased, still 10 million, but compared to the mere 300 glacier beasts, it was already a difference of tens of thousands of times. Bang! As if heaven and earth had shattered, the aura of 10 million Hell Fiends reached a new level. They collectively broke through, stepping into 8th level Dao Venerable. 10 million hell fiends charged out with screams, pouncing on the glacier beasts like an avalanche. The glacier beasts emitted terrifying cold air, but most of it was neutralized by the flames on the hell fiends' bodies. The hell fiends were no longer frozen solid, only moving a bit slower, but it didn't affect their devouring. Previously, the hell fiends were 7th level Dao Venerable and couldn't withstand the glacier beasts' cold air. But now they had advanced to 8th level Dao Venerable. In one-on-one combat they naturally weren't a match for the glacier beasts, but when surrounding and attacking, the glacier beasts' doom had arrived. After a few bites, cracks appeared on the glacier beasts' bodies. In the blink of an eye they were bitten to pieces, chunks devoured by the hell fiends. Lin Moyu chuckled, just as I judged, once the skeleton hell advances, there are no more opponents among Dao Venerables. By no more opponents, Lin Moyu didn't mean one-on-one combat, but group battles, and him alone fighting against everyone. Faced with such a skeleton hell, even if hundreds or thousands of 9th level Dao Venerables attacked together, Lin Moyu could make sure they wouldn't return. If the Coldwater Holy Land had no stronger foundation, Lin Moyu could directly annihilate the Coldwater Holy Land just by using the skeleton hell. From now on, top powers like Holy Lands would no longer have the confidence to be strong before him. In the blink of an eye, most of the 300 glacier beasts had been devoured. The rest only had half their lives left. Suddenly, these glacier beasts exploded, their bodies transforming into cold currents, quickly escaping the hell fiends' encirclement and merging together. Every 10 cold currents merged together, their aura rising sharply. All the hell fiends that rushed over were repelled by a powerful force, unable to approach. Lin Moyu's brows furrowed slightly, glacier beast kings. The merging happened right before Lin Moyu's eyes. Over 100 glacier beasts merged into several glacier beast kings. According to Little May, glacier beast kings were very powerful, at least peak 9th level Dao Venerable. To Lin Moyu, a dozen peak 9th level Dao Venerable glacier beast kings were no different from several hundred glacier beasts. It was just a matter of eating faster or slower. He watched quietly, as if watching a show. This is a good chance to see what the skeleton hell's limit is. Perhaps eating these glacier beast kings will have an even better improvement effect. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I need to create a glossary for characters, abilities, locations, and other elements of my story. I often forget details about them, so I'd appreciate any help in organizing these aspects. If you could comment on any small characters, their powers, and other related details, it would be helpful for me to build the glossary. Including chapters where they appear would also be great. I've already created a cultivation glossary. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real-Life Player. Your Girlfriend Was Amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my p@tr30n. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My p@trian is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3363, 3363. Chapter 3363, unable to even get close. Watching the glacier beast kings merge and grow stronger, Lin Moyu wasn't worried at all. He had full confidence in the upgraded skeleton hell. As long as it was still within the Dao Venerable realm, the skeleton hell could handle it. Dragon roars sounded again from the skeleton hell. The netherworld black pool spewed out thick black mist, covering a large area like clouds. A pair of bloodshot eyes lit up within the black mist, looking sinister and terrifying. Then, Heiyu's head slowly emerged from the black mist, letting out a resounding dragon roar. With the skeleton hell's advancement complete and having devoured many glacier beasts, Heiyu, who had just been beaten to pieces, also recovered. As long as the netherworld black pool existed, it wouldn't die. It just needed time to recover. This time Heiyu not only fully recovered, but became even stronger. Its powerful pressure released along with dragon roars. Heiyu's combat power had reached the 9th level Dao Venerable realm. Combined with the special properties of the Skeleton Hell and Netherworld Black Pool, Heiyu was capable of fighting any 9th level Dao Venerable one-on-one. A moment later, the cold air suddenly contracted. 14 Glacier Beast Kings completed their fusion, revealing their true forms in the cold air. Each Glacier Beast King had peak 9th level Dao Venerable combat power, only slightly weaker than Suku. They were 100 meters tall, covered in scales, with dense spikes all over their backs. They had 2 tails behind them like scissors. The Glacier Beast Kings looked extremely strange, impossible to describe as resembling any known beast. But one thing was certain, they were all extremely powerful and difficult to deal with. If it were Ji Kang and the others, they might be able to fight one Glacier Beast King. Even if they couldn't win, they could at least escape intact. But facing 3 or more Glacier Beast Kings, all they could do was flee immediately, as far away as possible. Otherwise they would certainly be killed. Even Suku could at most fight 3 Glacier Beast Kings simultaneously. Any more would be too much. Now there were 14 Glacier Beast Kings. This was a force that could almost destroy the Coldwater Holy Land. Lin Moyu estimated that in all the years since the 9 Extremes Glacier formed, so many Glacier Beast Kings had likely never appeared at once. The spider lilies swayed non-stop, cyan light enveloping the entire Skeleton Hell. Under the blue light, the Glacier Beast King's aura weakened somewhat. They had not left the Dao Venerable realm, so were still affected by the spider lilies. All attributes weakened by 30%, greatly reducing their combat power. But their numbers were still astonishing. Lin Moyu said to Suku, "You join in too, coordinate with the Skeleton Hell." Suku nodded, understood. Not just Suku would join, Lin Moyu himself would too. As long as he could get close to a Glacier Beast King, he could definitely kill it with the Calamity Scepter. The 14 Glacier Beast Kings fully formed. The contracted cold air instantly erupted. Many hell fiends froze over. Lava boiled and fell like heavy rain, landing on the Glacier Beast Kings with a constant sizzling sound. Countless wisps of cold air turned to mist spreading through the Skeleton Hell. The cold air on the hell fiends' bodies was extinguished by the molten lava. Countless hell fiends charged out madly towards the Glacier Beast Kings. The hell fiends didn't care how strong the Glacier Beast Kings were. Even if they were great Dao realm beings, as long as Lin Moyu gave the order, the hell fiends would charge forward without hesitation. Suku also attacked, this time not needing to face multiple enemies. He picked one to assassinate. Heiyu charged out with a dragon roar, biting towards a Glacier Beast King while its huge body coiled around it. The 100-meter-tall Glacier Beast Kings were like tiny dots compared to Heiyu. Lin Moyu took a deep breath, gripping the Calamity Scepter as he suddenly charged out. In 2 or 3 steps he arrived at a Glacier Beast King's feet. Just as he raised the Calamity Scepter, a blast of cold air slammed into him head-on. Lin Moyu felt like he had hit an unbreakable wall. He was violently blasted back with no power to resist. Not just him, the hell fiends were also blasted away. At the same time, many hell fiends were sent flying by the Glacier Beast King's enormous power. But the next second, they attacked again. Some hell fiends had their bodies shattered, limbs broken, some even reduced to just a head. But this didn't stop them from attacking again. The hell fiends howled with hoarse, unpleasant voices, completely unafraid of death. They pounced onto the Glacier Beast Kings, firmly grasping their scales, spikes, and anything else they could grab onto. Their sharp fingertips had already pierced in, firmly hooked. They bit down again and again. The Glacier Beast Kings constantly erupted with shocking power, blasting the hell fiends away and shattering them. Each time they could blast away most of them, but some always remained. There were simply too many hell fiends. No matter how frantically the Glacier Beast Kings fought back, the number of hell fiends clinging to them kept increasing. The Glacier Beast Kings swung their claws, smashing down on the Skeleton Hell like small mountains. The Skeleton Hell was shaken and distorted, but still stubbornly persisted without truly breaking. Lin Moyu charged in again and again, but was invariably blasted away. His body was battered and broken, covered in wounds, his limbs nearly severed. Lin Moyu had no choice but to retreat. My realm is still not high enough. Even using gather strength to boost myself, only my raw power increases, not my realm. I'm still lacking in many aspects. Giving up on joining the fight himself, he used his life force to heal his injuries while putting away the Calamity Scepter, becoming a spectator. He couldn't even get close now. Unless he activated the gems on the Calamity Scepter, there was no way. This was the true gap in strength. 9th level Tao Venerable, and peak 9th level at that, was indeed not easy to deal with. Finally, with a violent boom, cold air exploded. The entire skeleton hell shook non-stop. One Glacier Beast King crashed down. Supu had finally dealt with his first opponent. The Glacier Beast King was cut to pieces, scattered into the skeleton hell. Immediately many hell fiends rushed over to devour the Glacier Beast King's remains. Supu immediately went to find his next opponent. The Glacier Beast King wrapped up by Heiyu was also at the end of its strength, unable to put up much of a fight. Lin Moyu watched, knowing the outcome of this battle was already decided. He contentedly played the role of spectator, watching the entire battle like a grand show. One by one the Glacier Beast Kings were killed. The battle lasted over an hour before all 14 peak 9th level Tao Venerable Glacier Beast Kings were completely eliminated. The skeleton hell ate their corpses, its aura growing stronger and stronger. Lin Moyu reviewed the entire battle, summarizing, the Glacier Beast Kings, though powerful, had no souls, no powerful techniques, no magic treasures. If they were human or demon cultivators of the same level, they would be even stronger. The skeleton hell may be able to trap and kill them, but if they were determined to escape, they could probably get away. It seems to truly leave 9th level Tao Venerables with no escape. We'll have to wait for the skeleton hell to advance again. But to deal with some power, I just need to unleash the skeleton hell and there will be no life left within 10,000 kilometers. For destroying sects and clans, this is simply an unparalleled divine skill. Alright, now I know where you are. It's my turn to find you next. I want to see if you really have gained intelligence. After killing these glacier beasts, Lin Moyu knew the direction of the remnant soul. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real-Life Player. Your Girlfriend Was Amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my p@tr30n. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My p@trian is now up, go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3364. 3364. Chapter 3364, The Trouble is Just Beginning. Lin Moyu had always harbored doubts. He believed his judgment wouldn't be wrong, but what happened in the 7th extreme made him question his own judgment. Seeing is believing. He still needed to see for himself if the other party had truly developed intelligence. The remnant soul wasn't large enough to develop intelligence. If it really had gained intelligence, then many things would have to be reconsidered. His understanding of souls and power systems would need to be rebuilt and re-evaluated. Not just him, even the human emperor's database would need to be changed. It was a remnant soul, but there were differences between remnant souls. The Saint Talisman Venerable in the Great World had also only left behind a remnant soul, much smaller than the one in the glacier. Even the tiny remnant soul in the 4th extreme far surpassed the remnant soul left behind by Saint Talisman Venerable. But Saint Talisman Venerable's remnant soul was deliberately left behind, containing his memories. Developing intelligence from it was natural. But the remnant soul suppressed under the glacier had no memories. It was just a relatively pure soul fragment. To develop intelligence, it would need to be more complete. Based on his understanding of souls, plus the growth rate of the remnant soul in each extreme, Lin Moyu judged that at least the 8th extreme would be needed for the remnant soul to possibly develop intelligence. Lin Moyu moved swiftly through the cold wind. He walked very fast, leaving glacier tea tree after glacier tea tree behind in an instant. He didn't encounter any more glacier beasts along the way. The glacier beasts along the way had already been eliminated by him. When the soul flame appeared in his sight, Lin Moyu finally arrived at his destination. The soul flame was almost exactly as he had imagined, the same size, the same intensity, with no discrepancies. A remnant soul of this level was indeed unlikely to develop intelligence. Unless that being's main soul body was already at a level beyond Lin Moyu's comprehension. Obviously that being hadn't reached such a level. Lin Moyu looked at the soul flame from afar. The soul flame also noticed Lin Moyu's arrival. It wasn't like in the sixth extreme where it only had a violent killing aura. It seemed much quieter, giving the illusion of lying in wait. This illusion would make one think it had intelligence. But Lin Moyu didn't see it that way. After careful observation, Lin Moyu was completely certain, the other party had no intelligence. What it had was a more intense battle instinct. This instinct had grown so strong that it was no longer just about fighting and killing, but about using some tactics. The people of the Black Blood Great Realm all seemed to possess extremely strong combat abilities. This ability was innate, as if they were born for battle. So it was quite normal for the remnant soul to have battle instincts. Judging from the remnant souls in previous extremes, the remnant soul in the seventh extreme is about 1/10 of the whole soul. If it were a bit more, it might truly be able to evolve independent intelligence. What a pity, without intelligence, it's ultimately of little use. After seeing clearly, Lin Moyu walked over step by step. He knew that even if the other party had no intelligence, with its greatly enhanced battle instincts, it would still counterattack. It wouldn't let itself be slaughtered like the previous ones. The remnant soul began to retreat, constantly moving through the gap between the glacier and the ground, retreating to a glacier tea tree. Not only did it not move away from the tea tree, it clung to the tree's roots. The roots were its only tool to communicate with the outside world. Streams of black mist rapidly seeped out along the roots. The soul flame flickered violently. It was clearly using all its power. The glacier trembled slightly. The seeping black mist emitted a summoning force. Large numbers of glacier beasts surged in from all directions. Lin Moyu sensed the aura of the glacier beasts. There were many, at least over 100. Each aura was extremely powerful. Over 100 glacier beasts, all glacier beast kings. So this is what was waiting. Lin Moyu chuckled. No wonder there were no glacier beasts along the way. They had all merged into glacier beast kings. Over 100 peak 9th level Dao Venerable glacier beast kings would require at least 1,000 glacier beasts to merge. The previous 300 glacier beasts were clearly just appetizers. Now came the main course. Lin Moyu smiled. It does have battle instincts, but it's still too stupid. If it had used so many glacier beast kings from the start, I would have turned and left without a word. But now, it's not enough. If the skeleton hell hadn't advanced, facing over 100 glacier beast kings, Lin Moyu wouldn't have fought them at all. Now that the skeleton hell had completed its advancement, though there were many glacier beast kings, it wasn't a problem. Space distorted. The skeleton hell instantly expanded to its limit, covering an area of 10,000 miles. The 100 glacier beast kings charging over were instantly devoured by the skeleton hell. Spider lilies swayed, weakening the glacier beast king's power. Hell fiends rushed over eagerly, biting without hesitation. Cold currents erupted violently. The first wave of hell fiends that rushed over were almost all blasted away. But the second wave, the third wave, the hell fiends kept coming endlessly. Even for peak 9th level glacier beast kings, killing 8th level Dao Venerable hell fiends wasn't so easy. Supu and Heiyu attacked simultaneously, launching fierce attacks on the glacier beast kings. Lin Moyu shot out a line of fire. The world-burning fire flowed down the glacier tea tree into the glacier, wrapping around the remnant soul like a snake. Screams from the remnant soul rang out in his soul. The remnant soul was in extreme pain under the burning of the world-burning fire. But it didn't retreat, because it still needed to control the glacier beast kings. Lin Moyu smiled. Let's see who can hold out longer. Lin Moyu had great confidence in his skeleton hell. Even facing 100 glacier beast kings, Lin Moyu still believed his skeleton hell would be the final victor. Moreover, the skeleton hell would grow stronger as it fought. After devouring these 100 glacier beast kings, the skeleton hell would strengthen considerably. The remnant soul didn't flee either. It seemed to be in a standoff with Lin Moyu, as if to see whether it would be burned to death first, or kill Lin Moyu first. Time passed bit by bit. Finally, a glacier beast king was killed by Suku. Once a glacier beast king died, the outcome of this battle was almost decided. The skeleton hell devoured the glacier beast king's corpse, gradually growing stronger. The hell fiends fought and nourished themselves. Those dead hell fiends rapidly revived, the attack continuing without pause. Then, glacier beast kings died one after another. The skeleton hell showed no sign of damage, instead growing stronger and stronger. Even now, the remnant soul hadn't fled. It was still locked in fierce battle with Lin Moyu. This also confirmed Lin Moyu's judgment was correct. The other party indeed only had battle instincts, not far from developing intelligence. Battle instincts made it unwilling to flee, only thinking about how to kill Lin Moyu, the intruder. Such a remnant soul wasn't difficult to deal with. Imperceptibly, the world-burning fire grew more and more intense. Burning again and again made the world-burning fire stronger and stronger. Lin Moyu controlled the battle rhythm, trying to make the skeleton hell's killing pace match his pace of burning the remnant soul. After a full half-day, as the last Glacier Beast King was killed, the remnant soul was also burned to fragments by the world-burning fire. After this battle, the skeleton hell was greatly strengthened. The power of the world-burning fire had almost doubled. It was an extremely great harvest for Lin Moyu. The glacier tea tree constantly grew new leaves. Without the remnant soul, the suppressed power would be rapidly absorbed, becoming tea leaves. Lin Moyu unhesitatingly collected the tea leaves, muttering to himself, "Now comes the real trouble." Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real-Life Player. Your Girlfriend Was Amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my P at TR30N. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My P at Trian is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the at symbol and type a. Chapter 3365. 3365. Chapter 3365. Not as good as the World Tree. On the surface, the 9 Extremes Glacier had 9 extremes, with the endless glacier beyond the 9th extreme. From the 1st to the 7th extreme, Lin Moyu had plans in mind. Through Little May's descriptions, he had already thought about how to proceed and predicted various situations. In fact, the whole process didn't deviate much from what he had imagined. His physical body and soul successfully broke through to 7th level Dao Venerable and achieved immunity. The skeleton hell also successfully broke through with the help of glacier beasts, reaching 8th level Dao Venerable and becoming his strongest technique. The only unexpected thing was the appearance of the remnant soul. Fortunately, up to the 7th extreme, the remnant soul had no intelligence and didn't cause Lin Moyu much trouble. But Lin Moyu also judged that from the 8th extreme onwards, the remnant soul was very likely to develop intelligence, which would make it easier to deal with. Moreover, he lacked information about the 8th extreme and couldn't make advanced predictions about its situation. This meant that once he entered the 8th extreme, the danger would increase significantly. Lin Moyu collected newly grown tea leaves along the way. 9 Extremes Glacier tea was good stuff. Tea leaves from the 7th extreme were already top grade, excellent for drinking or as gifts. However, he didn't deliberately try to collect all the tea leaves. The glacier was too large. If he wanted to walk through the entire glacier, it would waste too much time. Lin Moyu just took some along the way. On the way to the 8th extreme, he pondered what might happen there. If there are no changes, the 8th extreme will be like the 7th, stronger glacier beasts and a remnant soul with intelligence. If there are changes, it's hard to say. Once the remnant soul gained intelligence, it would certainly try to escape. What would happen in the 8th extreme was really hard to say. At the same time, Lin Moyu also pondered why remnant souls were suppressed here. All the remnant souls were of the same origin, from one soul. This soul came from the Black Blood Great Realm, a powerful being from there, at least at the Great Dao Realm, and not an ordinary Great Dao Realm being. It was stronger than the Outer Realm divine gods Lin Moyu had encountered before. Such a powerful being from the Black Blood Great Realm had its soul forcibly split into several parts and suppressed in various places in the 9 Extremes Glacier. Since someone had the ability to split the soul of a Black Blood Great Realm powerhouse, they should also have had the ability to kill them. Why not kill, but only suppress? Besides suppression, glacier tea trees were used to constantly absorb their power and cultivate tea leaves. Lin Moyu really couldn't understand what that powerful being's intentions were. And the identity of that powerful being, could it be the ancestor of the Coldwater Holy Land, the old ancestor of the Gu family? Everything would only be certain once he saw it with his own eyes. Standing at the boundary between the 7th and 8th extremes, Lin Moyu took a deep breath. Let's go see what it's like down there. After countless years, the 8th extreme of the 9 Extremes Glacier, where no one had ever been, finally welcomed its first visitor. Descending 10,000 meters, cold air struck violently, like knives blowing against Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's body emitted an invisible special aura, completely neutralizing all cold air. Though the cold air was strong, its essence hadn't changed and was still immune to him. After landing, Lin Moyu looked into the distance, slightly surprised. So this is what the 8th extreme is like. Lin Moyu saw a glacier tea tree. This glacier tea tree was 1,000 meters tall, already like a high mountain, its branches and leaves dense enough to block the sky like a mountain range. What surprised Lin Moyu wasn't the tall glacier tea tree. He had seen even bigger trees, some as large as 1,000,000 miles. 1,000 meters was nothing. What surprised him was that the glacier tea tree before him was swinging its branches and vines, battling a glacier beast. The glacier beast wasn't a glacier beast king, but it had combat power close to 1. The glacier beasts in the 8th extreme have peak 9th level Dao Venerable combat power. The glacier tea trees here have gained combat power and are enemies with the glacier beasts. Lin Moyu immediately collected 2 pieces of information. The 8th extreme had indeed changed. Previously, glacier beasts and glacier tea trees had a mutually beneficial relationship, but now they had become enemies. Lin Moyu didn't participate in their battle. Since the glacier tea tree had moved, it was hard to say if it was friend or foe. He naturally chose to observe quietly. The 2 sides were evenly matched, seeming unable to overcome each other. However, Lin Moyu could see that the glacier tea tree was slightly stronger. The key was that glacier beasts could come and go freely, while glacier tea trees could attack but couldn't move their main bodies. They were deeply rooted beneath the glacier, completely immobile. A moment later, this battle came to an end. The glacier beast retreated, and the glacier tea tree didn't pursue. This battle was like a friendly match, with no winner or loser. Lin Moyu frowned slightly. When the glacier beast retreated, he clearly sensed a force rising in the distance. This rising force was like a gathering signal. The glacier beast retreated after receiving the signal. This also meant that someone had summoned the glacier beast away. He had to consider that the person who could summon the glacier beast away was the suppressed remnant soul from the Black Blood Great Realm. Suddenly, a voice sounded in Lin Moyu's ear, "Someone has finally come." Lin Moyu was slightly startled, looking at the glacier tea tree. "Are you talking to me?" The glacier tea tree's branches swayed slowly, very rhythmically, and that voice sounded again. "That's right, it's me. Are you from the GU family? Why can't I sense your GU family bloodline?" Lin Moyu shook his head. "I'm not from the GU family. I'm here on behalf of the GU family to find their ancestor." The glacier tea tree said, "Do you have any proof?" Lin Moyu took out the jade tablet GU Hanbing had given him. "Does this count as proof?" The jade tablet contained a trace of GU family bloodline. The glacier tea tree immediately sensed it. "Indeed, this is the GU family's bloodline jade tablet. I didn't expect the GU family couldn't come down themselves, but sent an outsider instead. And your realm is only 4th level Dao Venerable, yet you could walk to here. That's truly remarkable." Lin Moyu asked, "Elder, do you know where the GU family ancestor is?" The glacier tea tree said, "The GU family ancestor isn't here. He guards the 9th extreme. I guard this place." Lin Moyu pressed further, "Is it to prevent the remnant soul from the Black Blood Great Realm?" The glacier tea tree was clearly surprised. "It seems you know quite a bit. Come, follow the direction I point to. The butcher's main body is waiting for you there." The tea tree's branches and leaves extended endlessly, stretching towards the distant glacier. Lin Moyu didn't sense any malice from the glacier tea tree. Moreover, when it saw the GU family's bloodline jade tablet earlier, it had shown a hint of friendliness. For now, the tea tree could be trusted. The branches seemed to be able to extend infinitely, pointing the way for Lin Moyu. Soon, Lin Moyu saw another glacier tea tree, equally tall. The new glacier tea tree completed the relay. The old branches retracted, and new branches extended, continuing to guide Lin Moyu. After about a dozen such relays, Lin Moyu finally saw the main body of the glacier tea tree. It was a giant tea tree tens of thousands of meters tall. The huge trunk required standing very far away to see its full view. Branches hung down forming mountain ranges, like a snow-capped mountain extending in all directions. Lin Moyu instinctively compared it, muttering to himself, "Not as good as the world tree." Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real Life Player. Your Girlfriend Was Amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my P at TR30N. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My P at Trian is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the at symbol and type a. Chapter 3366. 3366. Chapter 3366. The Origin of the Nine Extremes Glacier. The main body of the glacier tea tree emitted a terrifying aura. Lin Moyu felt that the glacier tea tree had reached the Great Tao Realm. Not the pseudo-Great Tao Realm, but the true Great Tao Realm. Lin Moyu even felt it was stronger than Withering and Flourishing Elder. A Great Tao Realm plant type being guarding here meant the remnant soul from the Black Blood Great Realm was equally powerful. Lin Moyu bowed to the giant glacier tea tree. Human Lin Moyu greets Elder. White light flickered in front of the glacier tea tree, and the projection of an old man appeared. The old man had a kind face and wore a white robe, leaning on a white cane. When Lin Moyu saw the old man, he instinctively frowned slightly. Though the movement was very subtle, the old man still noticed it. Young one, why do you frown? Lin Moyu said, it's nothing. Just seeing you reminded me of an old senior. The old man made an, oh, sound. An old senior. Do we look alike? Lin Moyu nodded, you don't look the same, just your attire is similar. He wore a green robe, you wear a white robe. The color is different. A glint flashed through the old man's eyes. Though he didn't say anything, his reaction was also noticed by Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu realized that this old man before him had seen that green-robed old man. He thought to himself, no wonder they're so similar. It seems he's imitating the green-robed old man. Lin Moyu didn't know how strong the green-robed old man was, but he could be certain it was definitely beyond the Great Tao Realm. But he didn't say this. Lin Moyu also pretended not to know and instead asked, may I ask how to address Elder? The old man coughed lightly, you can call me Old Tree. His tone was clearly more polite than before, obviously giving face to the green-robed old man. Lin Moyu said, Old Tree, can you tell me what's going on here? Old Tree said, you're the only person to come in here after so many years, and you're here on behalf of the GU family. This old man will naturally tell you what should be said. He waved his hand lightly. The glacier tea tree began to glow, projecting countless scenes. Each scene recorded a piece of history. Old Tree slowly explained to Lin Moyu, when the origin catastrophe descended, a powerful being from the Black Blood Great Realm penetrated deep into the origin continent, attempting to pollute its core. The GU family ancestor and I were ordered to intercept. The opponent was very strong. Even joining forces, we could hardly gain the upper hand. But with the Great Tao's mandate, we had no choice but to fight to the death. During the battle, the GU family ancestor obtained a strange treasure. With this treasure, we tore apart the soul of the Black Blood Great Realm powerhouse. His soul was split into 7 parts. 3 parts accounted for 90% of the entire soul. The other 4 parts were of varying sizes, totaling 10%. Originally we should have torn it more severely, but our strength was limited. We couldn't bring out the full power of this strange treasure and could only do this much. Afterwards, we transformed the strange treasure into the 9 Extremes Glacier. The largest soul fragment was thrown beneath the endless glacier, eternally sealed. The other 2 slightly smaller soul fragments were suppressed in the 9th and 8th extremes respectively. The remaining 4 were suppressed in the 4th to 7th extremes. This old man and the GU family ancestor guard the 8th and 9th extremes respectively, never leaving, contending with the soul from the Black Blood Great Realm. It's shameful to say, but with the combat power of this old man and the GU family ancestor, we could only fight to a draw with the opponent's remnant soul. We couldn't even destroy it. At this point, Old Tree sighed deeply, seeming somewhat ashamed. For mighty Great Tao Realm powerhouses to be unable to kill less than a third of the opponent's remnant soul was indeed somewhat embarrassing to speak of. Lin Moyu listened as Old Tree recounted his story. The story wasn't particularly stirring, just a very simple tale of being ordered to intercept. Simple, But Lin Moyu heard some clues from it. This story wasn't as simple as it sounded. Old Tree must have concealed some things. For example, how was this strange treasure obtained? The Black Blood Great Realm powerhouse was so strong that even their joint efforts were no match. How could a single strange treasure tear apart the opponent's soul, and even evolve into the Nine Extremes Glacier? Could such a good thing be obtained just by saying so? But since Old Tree was unwilling to say, Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't press the issue. Old Tree had said at the beginning that he would naturally say what should be said. The subtext was, "What I don't say, you shouldn't ask too much about." Lin Moyu was very tactful. Are the glacier tea trees in other places all elders' avatars? Old Tree chuckled. They can be seen as this old man's avatars, or as this old man's children, and also as the continuation of this old man's life. This old man's true body is a Dao tree that can produce great Dao leaves, which are what you call glacier tea leaves. Consuming them can speed up comprehension of the great Dao. Though that fellow's soul was torn apart and eternally suppressed here by us, his black blood power still constantly spreads outside the Nine Extremes Glacier. So the Gu family ancestors set up formations outside the glacier, letting the Gu family guard the formations forever. Meanwhile, this old man scattered seeds on the glacier, becoming glacier tea trees, constantly absorbing the black blood power dispersed within the glacier. On your way here, you should have sensed its torn remnant soul struggling beneath the glacier. Those glacier beasts are its instincts and obsessions trying to escape. Lin Moyu said, "Indeed, I saw several remnant souls. They connected with the outside world through the tea trees, roots and stems." Old Tree sighed. "This is also something I didn't anticipate at first. I didn't expect that tiny gap would be exploited. The Black Blood Great Realm truly finds a way through every crack." Lin Moyu had a different view. Old Tree's idea was good, using glacier tea trees to absorb and refine the black blood power, cultivating tea leaves, then feeding them back to the Cold Water Holy Land's disciples to help them cultivate faster. But in fact, the glacier transformed from the strange treasure wasn't completely under Old Tree's control, so some problems arose. This also proved Lin Moyu's guess. They obtained the strange treasure too shortly before using it, not even having time to refine it before using it directly, leading to such problems. Lin Moyu said, "It doesn't really matter. The remnant souls have no consciousness, always maintaining a kind of balance. On my way here, I've already destroyed the remnant souls." Old Tree shuddered violently. All the projections shattered instantly, showing how shocked he was. He looked at Lin Moyu in disbelief. "You say, you destroyed the remnant souls?" Lin Moyu nodded. "You can sense it. The remnant souls from the 4th to 7th extremes have all been destroyed." Old Tree immediately closed his eyes to sense. A moment later, he slowly opened his eyes. "They really are destroyed." "How did you do it?" Lin Moyu said, "I have a kind of fire that can burn souls." As he spoke, the world-burning fire appeared in Lin Moyu's palm. The world-burning fire burned fiercely, emitting an aura completely different from the destruction Great Dao. Old Tree stepped back 3 paces. "Great Dao Essence Fire, it's really Great Dao Essence Fire." He was right, someone really can control Great Dao Essence Fire. Not just control it, but has even come here. Wonderful, this old man can finally return to the Great Dao. Wonderful, truly wonderful. Old Tree's manner was somewhat manic. Lin Moyu saw this and thought, Old Tree indeed knows something. He wondered who the Old Tree mentioned could be. Could it be the true owner of the strange treasure? Asterisk 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 asterisk. I need to create a glossary for characters, abilities, locations, and other elements of my story. I often forget details about them, so I'd appreciate any help in organizing these aspects. If you could comment on any small characters, their powers, and other related details, it would be helpful for me to build the glossary. Including chapters where they appear would also be great. I've already created a cultivation glossary. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real Life Player. Your Girlfriend Was Amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my P at TR30N. ko-fi.com/translatoki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translatoki. Remove the at symbol and type a. Chapter 3367, 3367. Chapter 3367, World Burning Fire and Great Tao Essence Fire. Lin Moyu asked calmly in a low voice, Old Tree, what is Great Tao Essence Fire? Old Tree looked at Lin Moyu with a complex gaze. You don't know that the fire you control is Great Tao Essence Fire. Before Lin Moyu could speak, he continued explaining, well, at your level, it's normal not to know what Great Tao Essence Fire is. This old man doesn't know how you obtained Great Tao Essence Fire, and doesn't want to know. Don't tell this old man either, the karma is too great, this old man doesn't want to be involved. This old man can tell you that Great Tao Essence Fire is the strongest fire among the great Taos of heaven and earth. It can burn souls, refine souls, and when refined to the extreme, almost no cultivator's soul can withstand the burning of Great Tao Essence Fire. In the soul void, Great Tao Essence Fire is the strongest weapon. As long as your Great Tao Essence Fire is strong enough, you can move freely in the soul void. Old Tree told Lin Moyu some information about the uses of Great Tao Essence Fire, but unfortunately Lin Moyu didn't get the answers he wanted to know. He wanted to know where Great Tao Essence Fire came from and what its essence was, but clearly Old Tree was unwilling to say, or perhaps Old Tree didn't know either. Through Old Tree's description, Lin Moyu was certain that his world-burning fire was not Great Tao Essence Fire. Great Tao Essence Fire could burn souls and refine souls, which world-burning fire could also do. But world-burning fire could also refine worlds, which Great Tao Essence Fire couldn't do. So no matter how similar they were not the same. In Lin Moyu's view, his world-burning fire was more advanced and powerful. What background does that mysterious master have, to be able to control a fire even more powerful than Great Tao Essence Fire? This shouldn't be something that appears in the great world. It's really strange. Lin Moyu couldn't quite understand. The existence of world-burning fire was very unusual. However, now was not the time to seek answers. He said, I can use this fire to burn the Black Blood Remnant soul to death. Old Tree said, it should be no problem. Your Great Tao Essence Fire isn't strong enough yet, but as long as you burn it for a while, you can burn it to death. Let this old man think about how to create this opportunity for you. That fellow is very cunning. Old Tree had dealt with the Black Blood Remnant soul for countless years and knew its details. It wasn't easy to deal with. Lin Moyu asked, can Elder tell me about the situation of the Black Blood Remnant soul in the Black Blood Great Realm, so I can think of ways together? Old Tree had no reservations about this question from Lin Moyu. The beings in the Black Blood Great Realm are different from us. They have two forms. One is the Black Blood Sword Saint. They all possess a life-bound sword, with extremely strong attack power but relatively weaker defense. The other form is the Black Blood Fist Saint. They use fists as their foundation. Their attack power is not as strong as the Black Blood Sword Saints, but their defense is much stronger, making them harder to kill than Sword Saints. Both forms are determined at birth and cannot be changed later. The essence of both is black blood. Black blood is the foundation of the Black Blood Great Realm. No one knows where black blood comes from or where it is located. All the powerhouses of the Black Blood Great Realm evolved from black blood. This is the classification of the Black Blood Great Realm. Next, this old man will tell you about their realms. Lin Moyu finally truly understood the situation of the Black Blood Great Realm. Their power system was not the same as the origin continent, but most differences were just in names. The various power systems could still be roughly matched. The Black Blood Great Realm only had Sword Saints and Fist Saints, unlike the origin continent where people cultivated various great Taos with countless classifications. They possessed powerful cultivation from birth. Newly evolved Black Blood people already had Other Shore Realm combat power. The Other Shore Realm was their childhood stage. If nothing unusual happened, the Other Shore Realm was also their weakest state. Then they would constantly absorb power, gradually becoming stronger. They didn't need to cultivate or comprehend the Great Tao. All they needed was time. This was somewhat similar to the dragon race, growing stronger just by sleeping. The upper limit of each black blood person was different, and how high that limit was also determined at birth, with no choice in the matter. Weak black blood people might only have a celestial venerable realm upper limit, while strong ones could reach the great Tao realm or even higher. The higher the upper limit, the rarer the black blood person. Besides being difficult to kill, black blood people had another terrifying ability: they could pollute most things. They could even pollute the great Tao. Once polluted, at best it would be greatly weakened, at worst the great Tao would collapse. What Old Tree and the Gu family ancestor had blocked was a black blood fist saint who came to pollute the core of the origin continent. If he succeeded, the origin continent would be in big trouble. Old Tree's voice was hoarse and low. This black blood fist saint is called a 7th level saint in the black blood realm. Saint level corresponds to our great Tao realm. 7th level saint means a 7th grade innate soul. The old Gu and I are both peak 8th grade innate souls, slightly weaker than him, so we've never been able to deal with him. Even within the great Tao realm, the gap between 8th grade and 7th grade was actually very large. Old Tree saying this carried a hint of pride. They were already very impressive to be able to block a black blood fist saint equivalent to a 7th grade innate soul with their 8th grade innate souls. But the black blood fist saint was indeed formidable. Even with just a third of his remnant soul, he could fight Old Tree to a draw. Lin Moyu said, the remnant soul has developed self-awareness. If I'm not mistaken, the remnant soul in the 9th extreme should also have developed self-awareness. If these two self-aware entities meet, do you think they would fight each other? Old Tree chuckled, what you say makes some sense. This method would work on beings from our origin continent and beings from the divine realm, but it's ineffective against beings from the black blood great realm. No matter how many consciousnesses they have, all consciousnesses are ultimately governed by black blood. They truly have the same origin, so no matter how many consciousnesses develop, they can perfectly merge. Once the remnant souls merge, their power will greatly increase. At that time, it might be difficult to suppress them. Old Tree negated Lin Moyu's idea. Lin Moyu also realized that his previous understanding of the black blood great realm was too limited, which led to this mistaken idea. Lin Moyu said, in that case, it seems we can only burn them to death. Old Tree said, that's right, but your great Tao essence fire isn't strong enough yet. It will take some time to burn it to death. We need to find a way to trap it. They were back to square one. Lin Moyu realized this was the only way. Now the key problem was how to trap the opponent. Lin Moyu asked, isn't it suppressed beneath the glacier? Old Tree shook his head, of course it's beneath the glacier. The glacier formed from the strange treasure isn't easily broken through. However, it constantly changes position beneath the glacier, making it difficult to lock onto. Clearly, Old Tree couldn't think of a good method. Lin Moyu continued to ask, Old Tree, what exactly is the situation beneath the glacier? Old Tree said, why don't you go see for yourself? As he spoke, Old Tree's main body shook. One of its roots slowly trembled, revealing a doorway on it. Old Tree's main body was too large. Even a single root had a diameter exceeding 10 meters. Lin Moyu passed through the root, entering beneath the glacier. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real-Life Player. Your Girlfriend Was Amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my P at TR30N. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My P at Trian is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the at symbol and type a. Chapter 3368. 3368. Chapter 3368. The familiar feeling of great Tao's aversion. There was another space beneath the glacier. Huge forces constantly fell downward from the glacier. Lin Moyu felt as if he was carrying thousands of burdens, giving him the illusion that he could hardly move a step. This was the suppressing force from the glacier, which was also the force that prevented flight in the entire 9 Extremes glacier world. Lin Moyu looked up. The glacier above his head was about 10 meters high. Beneath his feet was a frozen land, not glacier, but colder than the glacier. Even though he was already immune to cold currents, he could still feel the coldness. Suddenly, his body lightened as the pressure on him disappeared. Lin Moyu knew that Old Tree was controlling the glacier, withdrawing the pressure on him. At this moment, Old Tree's projection appeared in front of him again. This is the world beneath the glacier. The suppressing force is everywhere. This old man just let you experience it a bit. The suppressing force the Black Blood Fist Saint feels is 10,000 times stronger than what you just felt. Beneath your feet is eternal frozen earth. Both the endless glacier and the eternal frozen earth are parts of this strange treasure. Under the glacier's suppression, the Black Blood Fist Saint is greatly weakened in all aspects, but he's still formidable. This old man can only contend with him by borrowing the glacier's suppression. Lin Moyu observed the surroundings and said softly, "All these years, you've been trying to suppress and kill him. Hasn't he tried to counterattack?" Old Tree chuckled, "Of course he has. The glacier beasts here want to break out, go to the upper extremes, to rescue the remnant souls suppressed above. He has attacked this old man's main body many times. Only by killing this old man can he truly break free. Under Old Tree's control of the glacier, the Black Blood Fist Saint had no chance." Lin Moyu asked, "How often does he usually come?" Old Tree said, "It's hard to say. Sometimes long, sometimes short. But if needed, this old man can provoke it." Lin Moyu thought for a moment, "If I set up a formation here, perhaps we can trap it for a while." Old Tree's voice was low, "Trapping a great Tao realm being with a formation isn't easy." Lin Moyu said, "Normally, to deal with a great Tao realm being, a 9th grade formation might be needed. But the Black Blood Fist Saint is now just a remnant soul. Though still powerful, just to trap him, perhaps an 8th grade formation could do it. At least trapping him for a while shouldn't be a problem." Lin Moyu felt that with less than 30% of his remnant soul, the Black Blood Fist Saint's power was actually not as strong as Old Tree's. However, due to the glacier's suppression, Old Tree couldn't exert his full power beneath the glacier. Moreover, the Black Blood Fist Saint was cunning enough to flee at the first sign of trouble. This led to the constant stalemate between them. Based on his understanding of the Great Tao Realm, Lin Moyu felt that a perfect 8th grade formation combining both artifact and talisman formations should be able to trap the Black Blood Remnant Soul. It didn't need to trap him for too long. Even 1 or 2 hours would be enough. While trapping the opponent, he could continuously repair the formation while burning him with the world-burning fire. The opponent's power would gradually weaken, while his own would grow stronger. With this gradual change, they could eventually achieve victory. Old Tree said, "This old man can also temporarily increase the glacier's suppressing power. Though the effect won't be too great, it can at least lend you some help." Lin Moyu nodded, "Let's give it a try then." Old Tree said, "Go ahead and try. Even if it fails, it doesn't matter. This old man has been here for countless years. Time means nothing to this old man. Even if it doesn't succeed, this old man can ensure your safety." Lin Moyu nodded. He believed in Old Tree's ability. To ensure the formation could be set up smoothly, Old Tree removed the suppressing force from an area. He could manipulate part of the 9 Extremes Glacier's power, but only a part. Lin Moyu took out origin crystals and began to set up the ceiling formation. He used 8th grade and 9th grade origin crystals to set up the formation, with 8th grade as the main and 9th grade used at a few key formation nodes. While setting up the formation, he continuously drew runes to form a talisman formation, merging the talisman formation and artifact formation to achieve perfection. This was Lin Moyu's first time formally setting up an 8th grade formation, and it was also the advantage of the ceiling formation. The ceiling formation could be very simple or very complex. It could be 3rd grade or 9th grade. In Lin Moyu's eyes, no other trapping formation was as flexible and versatile as the ceiling formation. Lin Moyu's movements in setting up the formation were smooth and pleasing to the eye. Old Tree's eyes showed approval. Though this formation method is different, it has indeed reached the realm of transformation, with some Tao charm. The way of formations has gained another excellent talent. If he can reach that step in the future, perhaps. At this moment, Lin Moyu was fully focused on setting up the formation and didn't notice the change in Old Tree's gaze. Only Old Tree knew what he was thinking. Setting up an 8th grade formation for the first time, Lin Moyu's movements were very careful and meticulous, not daring to be distracted at all. Until the formation was completely set up, with the artifact formation and talisman formation perfectly merged, the formation flickered with a faint light and then disappeared without a trace. The ceiling formation wouldn't show itself before activation and was extremely difficult to detect. Lin Moyu said, "The formation's range is 100 meters in radius. I reduced the range to enhance the formation's trapping ability. I used a method of merging artifact and talisman formations. Though it's an 8th grade formation, its effect should not be weaker than some 9th grade formations. Lin Moyu was very satisfied with the formation he had set up. This was already the limit he could achieve currently. Old Tree chuckled, though this old man doesn't understand formations, I do have some discernment. Your attainment in the way of formations is quite astonishing. However, the formations of your era are somewhat different from those of our era. When you meet old Gu, you can discuss with him. Perhaps you'll gain something. Lin Moyu's face showed delight. If I could seek guidance from Elder Gu, it would be my honor. The 2 great formations at the entrance of the 9 Extremes Glacier were both created by the Gu family ancestor, showing that the Gu family ancestor was also proficient in formations. Lin Moyu was very interested in the divine talismans of prehistoric times. Perhaps he could learn something from the Gu family ancestor. With the formation set up, Lin Moyu returned to hide in Old Tree's root, while Old Tree, as planned, went to provoke the Black Blood Remnant Soul. Old Tree was clearly not doing this for the first time. He was very familiar with the process. His branches extended infinitely, reaching towards the distance. Old Tree didn't know where the Black Blood Remnant Soul was hiding. The glacier's range was vast. Even he needed some time to find it. Lin Moyu waited patiently for over an hour. Suddenly, Old Tree spoke, "Get ready, it's coming." The scene before Lin Moyu became transparent, allowing him to see the outside situation. In his undead eye, he saw a soul flame rapidly rushing towards them. The soul flame was flickering violently, much stronger than the ones he had seen before. At the same time, Lin Moyu felt a strong sense of aversion in his heart. The feeling of aversion from the Great Tao appeared again. This also indicated that the opponent had consciousness. Whether it was later evolved or some that hadn't been completely erased before didn't matter. What mattered was that the opponent had consciousness and intelligence, which triggered the Great Tao's aversion. The Great Tao kept sending a voice to Lin Moyu, "Kill it, kill it." With Old Tree's concealment, the Black Blood Remnant Soul didn't know there was an extra person here. As planned, Old Tree lured the Black Blood Remnant Soul to the area where the formation was located. Lin Moyu shouted in his heart, "Activate." The sealing formation activated with a boom. Invisible forces formed a cage, trapping the Black Blood Remnant Soul within. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real-Life Player. Your Girlfriend Was Amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my P at TR30N. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My P at Trian is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3369, 3369. Chapter 3369, From 0 to 1 is the hardest. As soon as the sealing formation activated, flames shot to the sky. The world-burning fire had already entered the formation, turning it into a sea of fire. The Black Blood Remnant Soul trapped in the formation had nowhere to escape and let out a terrifying scream. At the same time, Old Tree controlled the glacier, forcibly suppressing the Black Blood Remnant Soul. The suppressing power instantly multiplied several times, making it difficult for the Black Blood Remnant Soul to move. The Black Blood Remnant Soul screamed incessantly. It transformed into a giant black-robed figure, punching out again and again, causing the sealing formation to shake unstably. Lin Moyu left the tree root, his gaze fixed firmly on the sealing formation. If the sealing formation showed any signs of failing, he would immediately repair it. What was trapped now was from a Black Blood Fist Saint, a great Tao realm powerhouse comparable to a 7th grade innate soul. Even with less than 30% of its soul remaining, it was still terrifyingly strong. The sealing formation rumbled non-stop, constantly shaking. The power in the origin crystals was being rapidly consumed. The world-burning fire burned continuously, incinerating the Black Blood Remnant Soul, trying to refine it. Unfortunately, the world-burning fire wasn't strong enough yet, and Lin Moyu's realm was also a bit lacking. It would take a long time to truly burn the opponent to death. After just a few minutes, some origin crystals were already depleted of power. Lin Moyu acted quickly, swiftly replacing them. He didn't have many other treasures, but he had plenty of origin crystals and could afford to use them. Lin Moyu stared intently at the formation, knowing in his heart that he was already halfway to success. He could clearly sense that after about 10 minutes of burning, the black blood remnant soul's power had weakened somewhat, while the world-burning fire had grown stronger. At the current rate, as long as he persisted for 2 hours, the black blood remnant soul would have no chance to escape. During this process, at most he would consume some 8th grade origin crystals. Lin Moyu considered this a trifling matter, completely affordable. Suddenly he thought of something. Old tree, beware of a cornered beast biting back. It might control glacier beasts to attack you. Old tree chuckled, they've already come. Old tree was even happier than Lin Moyu to see the black blood remnant soul trapped. As for the glacier beasts, Old tree didn't take them seriously at all. On the glacier, he was a great Dao realm being. Even if 8th extreme glacier beast kings came, they could only obediently lie down. Lin Moyu said, what I mean is, those glacier beasts that come, after you kill them, can you leave the fragments for me? Old tree agreed without hesitation, no problem, I'll leave them all for you. He agreed very readily, not even asking Lin Moyu why he wanted to keep them. In his eyes, these fragments were no different from garbage. But it was different for Lin Moyu. Those were good things. There were still millions of hell fiends in the skeleton hell waiting to be fed. Time passed bit by bit. Lin Moyu replaced one origin crystal after another. The effect of the ceiling formation was unexpectedly good. No matter how the black blood remnant soul struggled, it just couldn't break out. After a full 2 hours, the black blood remnant soul's aura grew weaker and weaker, and the pressure on the ceiling formation also became smaller and smaller. In contrast, the world-burning fire grew stronger and stronger, becoming increasingly vigorous. Lin Moyu once again replaced all the 8th grade origin crystals that were about to be depleted of power. He said to Old Tree, please send me up for a moment. Without a word, Old Tree directly opened a passage, letting Lin Moyu return to the surface of the glacier. Rumbling sounds came to his ears. A tremendous battle was erupting on the glacier. Large numbers of glacier beast kings were charging over from all directions. Each glacier beast king had reached the peak of the 9th level, even more powerful than the glacier beast kings of the 7th extreme. They hadn't reached the pseudo-great Dao realm, but truly stood at the peak of the 9th level Dao Venerable realm. Even Supu might not be able to kill one in a one-on-one fight, most likely ending in a draw. But before Old Tree's true body, these glacier beast kings were nothing. Huge branches lashed out like whips at lightning speed. The powerful glacier beast kings were instantly shattered to pieces, completely powerless to resist. The gap between the Dao Venerable realm and the Great Dao realm was truly too great. The fragments on the ground had already piled up into mountains. Old Tree asked, what do you want these things for? Lin Moyu said, to eat. As he spoke, he pointed with his finger. The skeleton hell appeared, and countless hell fiends rushed out, grabbing the fragments and biting. A series of teeth-grinding sounds rang out as the hell fiends began to eat frantically. Old Tree let out a low exclamation, hell. His voice was full of disbelief, mixed with intense shock. Lin Moyu said, it's just somewhat similar. Please trouble Old Tree to throw the shattered corpses in. Those little fellows are still hungry. I'll continue to go back and watch the black blood remnant soul. Old Tree was clearly still in shock, instinctively muttering, all right, you go watch it. Don't let it escape. Don't worry, it won't escape. Lin Moyu turned and went back beneath the glacier, continuing to watch the black blood remnant soul. The black blood remnant soul was gradually weakening, and the speed of weakening was slowly accelerating. At this rate, after burning for a few more hours, the black blood remnant soul would be burned to ashes. Seeing victory in sight, Old Tree became more and more excited. One glacier beast king after another was killed by him, their shattered corpses thrown into the skeleton hell, becoming food for the hell fiends. He was no longer concerned about whether the skeleton hell was really hell or not. Whether it was or wasn't, it wasn't his business. The most important thing now was to kill the black blood remnant soul. Only then could he regain his freedom. Time indeed had no meaning, but the meaning of freedom was great. Lin Moyu stared unblinkingly at the black blood remnant soul, guarding against it making a desperate last move. Fortunately, this didn't happen. 4 hours later, the black blood remnant soul finally turned to ashes in the world-burning fire. The power of the world-burning fire increased greatly again. With the current strength of the world-burning fire, if it were to burn again, it could burn a black blood remnant soul to death in at most an hour. As soon as the black blood remnant soul died, the few remaining glacier beast kings simultaneously shattered, turning to dust. Old Tree took a deep breath. He absorbed large amounts of the remaining black blood power. His branches stretched out, producing a large number of tea leaves. His true body was a tea tree, and producing tea leaves was instinctive. Lin Moyu smiled and said, "Congratulations to Old Tree, you can finally regain your freedom." It's still early to regain freedom. This is just the first step. Old Tree was in a good mood now, his tone much lighter. His opponent of countless years had finally been killed. He felt a sense of relief. Lin Moyu said, "From 0 to 1 is the hardest. As long as you take the first step, the rest will be much easier." Old Tree nodded. Young friend Lin is right. Often, the first step is the hardest. The hell fiends finally finished eating the fragments. The power of the skeleton hell increased again. The hell fiend's aura was strong, much more powerful than before. Lin Moyu felt that if he could get a few more waves like this, the skeleton hell could advance again. The 9 Extremes Glacier was truly a treasure trove. Nowhere else could he find so many 9th level Dao Venerables for him to devour. A thought occurred to him, and Lin Moyu realized there was indeed one other place. Inside the seal at the bottom of the Boundary Sea, there were not only 9th level Dao Venerable divine pets, but also many great Dao realm outer realm divine gods. But he wasn't strong enough now. Going there would be pure suicide. But in the future, Old Tree chuckled, the problem of this extreme has finally been solved. Let's go to the 9th extreme. It's been many years since I've seen old GU. I wonder how he's doing now. Chapter 3370, 3370. Chapter 3370, the 9 continents will eventually recover. Without the black blood remnant soul, Old Tree's massive body that had been rooted for countless years could finally move. Accompanied by rumbling sounds, the entire 8th extreme glacier shook. The ground trembled continuously and cracks appeared on the glacier's surface. However, these cracks were only superficial. The glacier was incredibly thick, and no matter how many such cracks appeared, they wouldn't affect the glacier's strength. The roots that had originally been embedded in the glacier and reached into the eternal frozen earth slowly retracted. The giant tree's main body also began to shrink at the same time. Old Tree was shrinking and becoming smaller. The glacier's contraction speed was also very fast, almost shrinking 1 part for every part Old Tree shrank, leaving no gaps. After several minutes, this mountain range-like glacier tea tree disappeared, transforming into a kind-faced old man in white robes standing before Lin Moyu. Old Tree held a small box in his hand. "Young friend Lin, a small gift to show my respect." Lin Moyu accepted the box but didn't open it. "Elder, may I ask what's inside?" Old Tree said, "This old man's true form is a glacier tea tree. Besides producing glacier tea leaves, I can also cultivate great Dao glacier tea. Glacier tea leaves can be divided into 7 levels. Above the 7th level is great Dao tea, though its yield is somewhat low. I hope young friend Lin won't mind. Brewing with great Dao tea can speed up comprehension of the great Dao. If you can obtain great Dao cold water to brew together, the effect can be multiplied several times. Each leaf can be brewed 10 times, with each cup's effect lasting a full year. In other words, 1 great Dao tea leaf could significantly boost cultivation effects for 10 years. Currently, Lin Moyu's speed of condensing Dao patterns was 1 per year. He wondered how much it could increase with the great Dao tea. Lin Moyu didn't try it immediately. After putting away the box, he bowed to Old Tree. "Many thanks for Elder Tree's generous gift." Old Tree shook his head. "Young friend Lin is too polite. It should be this old man thanking you. You've helped this old man solve a big problem, giving me hope of regaining freedom. This kindness and favor, how can a few great Dao tea leaves compare? Come, let's go find old GU. I wonder how that old fellow has been doing all these years. Let this old man tease him a bit." Old Tree seemed very cheerful, with laughter in his words. The two headed towards the 9th extreme. Old Tree was very familiar with the glacier and took the shortest route without needing to search. Lin Moyu asked, "Elder Tree, to regain your freedom, do you need to truly destroy the black blood remnant soul?" Old Tree said, "It's not that simple. Killing the black blood remnant soul is only the first step. Besides this, there are some other things to do. Using such a powerful strange treasure naturally comes with a price, though this price is nothing compared to killing the black blood remnant soul. Lin Moyu nodded, understanding this principle. They hadn't had time to refine this strange treasure before using it, and its power was so immense, there must be a price. As for what the price was, Lin Moyu didn't ask. It wasn't his business, and even if he knew, he probably couldn't help much. Lin Moyu knew his strength wasn't bad, but compared to great Dao realm beings like Old Tree, who was also an 8th grade innate soul great Dao realm being, he simply wasn't in the same league. Not just him, even Withering and Flourishing Elder, who was also at the great Dao realm, was no match for Old Tree. Lin Moyu changed the subject. Elder Tree, can you tell me about the origin catastrophe? Old Tree looked at Lin Moyu with a smile. It seems young friend is very interested in the origin catastrophe. Lin Moyu nodded. Yes, I've always wanted to unravel the mystery of those years. Old Tree said, regarding the origin catastrophe, even among great Dao realm beings, not many know about it. You know, for us great Dao realm beings, we spend more time in seclusion than awake. When the catastrophe descended back then, many great Dao realm beings were in seclusion, and some were in the soul void unable to return in time. Later, they all hurriedly joined the battle under orders, many in a state of confusion, some even perishing without knowing why. Lin Moyu was stunned. Was there no sign at all before the origin catastrophe descended? Didn't the strong cultivators of the fate great Dao in the outer great Dao sense anything? Lin Moyu found it hard to understand. If cultivators on the origin continent hadn't sensed anything, that would be normal. But how could those cultivating the fate great Dao in the outer great Dao not have sensed anything? Old Tree said, indeed, there was no sensing. Strange, isn't it? Actually, the reason is simple. The heavenly secrets were obscured, and the fate great Dao became useless. Later facts proved this point. Not long after the great battle erupted, great Daos began to shatter. Young friend is so intelligent, you should have guessed which great Dao shattered first, right? Lin Moyu's heart trembled. The fate great Dao. Old Tree chuckled. That's right, the fate great Dao shattered. But fortunately, it didn't completely shatter. After all, it's one of the origin great Daos, not so easy to completely shatter. Given enough time, the fate great Dao can still recover. We've been trapped here for countless years. I think the fate great Dao should have recovered by now. Even if not to its peak, at least partially. At that time, with the fate great Dao losing its effect, we naturally couldn't foresee the future course of events. From the perspective of the entire campaign, we lost the initiative. Lin Moyu understood this principle. If the fate great Dao had remained intact, they could have constantly predicted the enemy's next move. This way, they could have always held the advantage and fought much more easily. But with the fate great Dao shattering, their advantage vanished, and they were put on the defensive everywhere. Lin Moyu thought that if he were invading some great realm, unless he could completely overwhelm them with power, he would definitely deal with the fate great Dao first, blinding the opponent. However, Lin Moyu was also puzzled. The fate great Dao is an origin great Dao after all. Is it so easy to shatter? Old Tree shook his head. Of course not. The other side paid a huge price to shatter the fate great Dao. Actually, the main reason was that the fate great Dao had no Dao Lord. If there had been a Dao Lord, they couldn't have shattered the fate great Dao no matter what. Let me continue. The later battles fell into a stalemate. We could only react to their moves, somewhat passively. Old Tree had lived for a very long time. He had attained the Dao early and lived longer than most great Dao realm beings, so he knew more. First, the heavenly secrets were obscured, then the other side paid a heavy price to shatter the fate great Dao. The origin continent was caught off guard and fought very passively at first. The enemy came fiercely. The outer realm divine god armies from the divine realm, the sword and fist armies from the black blood great realm, along with their affiliated worlds, all invaded the origin continent. But later, the powerful beings of the origin continent quickly reacted, emerging from seclusion and returning from the soul void to join the battle. The situation began to improve rapidly. It was at that time that Old Tree and the Gu family ancestor received orders to intercept the 7th level Fist Saint from the Black Blood Great Realm, eventually becoming trapped here. It was precisely because of this that the two great Dao realm beings kept their lives. If they had continued to participate in the battle after completing their mission, it's uncertain whether they could have survived. So nothing is certain. Misfortune may be a blessing in disguise. Old Tree didn't know what happened after he received his mission. Lin Moyu also shared what he knew, and their combined information formed a complete picture. Old Tree sighed. I didn't expect 5 of the 9 continents to sink. What a pity. Lin Moyu nodded. Indeed, it's a great pity. Old Tree said, but it's not a big deal. As long as the core of the origin continent isn't damaged, the 9 continents will eventually recover. It's just a matter of time. Lin Moyu was surprised. Can the continents really recover? Old Tree said, of course they can. The origin continent isn't that fragile. After so many years, I think it should be soon. Probably just needs a catalyst. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real-Life Player. Your Girlfriend Was Amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my P at TR30N. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My P at Trian is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the at symbol and type a. Chapter 3371, 3371. Chapter 3371. What could be the catalyst for drastic changes in the origin continent? Lin Moyu caught some information from Old Tree's words. Old Tree's words coincided with those of the Beast Emperor, and also corresponded with Waterstop Celestial Venerable's words. Lin Moyu had a guess in his heart. Could the drastic changes in the world they spoke of be the changes that would restore the origin continent? 5 of the 9 continents had sunk, but these 5 continents still existed, sunken into the bottom of the Boundary Sea. If the 9 continents were to be restored, the most likely way would be to raise the 5 sunken continents from the bottom of the Boundary Sea. Lin Moyu believed the origin continent had this ability. This would also be the quickest method, at least much easier than recreating 5 continents. But if so, what about the seal at the bottom of the Boundary Sea? What about those outer realm divine gods inside the seal? If those beings came out, the origin continent's power couldn't stop them. If that's the case, there's only one way to stop them: allow those great Tao realm beings from the outer great Tao to enter the origin continent. Then inevitably, there would be a terrifying battle. This battle would affect the entire origin continent. Just the aftershocks would be enough to destroy heaven and earth. Lin Moyu imagined the possibility of that battle and its consequences. He felt the origin continent might not be able to withstand it. If the goal was to restore the 5 continents, even instinctively, the origin continent shouldn't endure such a battle. The Great Tao wouldn't allow such a battle to erupt either, as it goes against its interests. Moreover, judging from the punishment Withering and Flourishing Elder received, the Great Tao wouldn't allow the origin continent to suffer too much damage. So the Great Tao wouldn't allow this battle. Lin Moyu's thoughts raced, his mind jumping to analyze various possibilities. Finally, he arrived at a possible answer. The so-called catalyst had 2 possibilities. The first was triggered by the origin ancestral land. Each descent of the origin ancestral land would cause the entire origin continent to shake. Only it could possibly become the catalyst for world-changing events. The second was the seal at the bottom of the Boundary Sea. If someone could kill the outer realm divine gods inside the seal, making them no longer a threat to the origin continent, or reducing the threat to a certain degree, it could also become the catalyst for continental changes. Both possibilities, one passive, one active, were plausible. Lin Moyu felt that if he were the Great Tao, he would definitely choose the latter. The latter was safer and would cause less damage to the origin continent, though it would require more time and be extremely difficult. Lin Moyu slowly opened his eyes and heard Old Tree's voice. What are you thinking about? You're lost in thought. Lin Moyu said, I had a dream, imagining the grand scene of the origin continent after its restoration. Old Tree said with some nostalgia, back then, with the 9 continents together, the origin intact, the Boundary Sea roaring, and the Great Tao manifest, we Great Tao realm beings could come and go freely on the origin continent, teaching everywhere. Anyone with a bit of talent, even if they couldn't become a Tao Venerable, becoming a Celestial Venerable wasn't a problem. Everyone cultivated. Except for newborn babies, there were almost no ordinary people. Back then, this old man stood at the center of the South Pole continent, feet on frozen earth, lecturing on the Tao for countless people. Old Tree reminisced about the past, feeling both nostalgic and helpless. Lin Moyu could understand Old Tree's emotions. He didn't try to comfort him. Beings like Old Tree didn't need comfort. With Old Tree's Tao heart, he was just expressing his feelings occasionally. His Tao heart was as firm as iron and gold, unshakable. Lin Moyu asked, Elder Tree, do you know about the Origin Ancestral Land? Old Tree said, I know a bit. The Origin Ancestral Land is a very mysterious place. Its time and location of descent are never fixed. Sometimes it appears on the Origin continent, sometimes in the outer Great Tao. Even the Fate Great Tao can't predict it. After it appears, it chooses some people to enter. Some gain a lot from inside, obtaining many benefits, treasures, cultivation, all sorts of things. Some people stay inside forever, never coming out. But that's the minority. Most people do come back. This old man didn't have that opportunity, never truly entered, so I don't know what's actually inside. The Origin Ancestral Land was indeed incredibly mysterious, worthy of being called the most mysterious place, bar none. Lin Moyu guessed that the Origin Ancestral Land probably wasn't part of the Origin continent. Lin Moyu pondered, as far as I know, the children of Yin and Yang have the qualifications to enter the Origin Ancestral Land, but they've never come out. Old Tree shook his head slightly, what you say isn't correct. There was once a child of Yin who went in and came back alive. It's not that no one has returned. As for children of Yang, there have been too few of them throughout history to have much reference value. Lin Moyu gained new information. It wasn't as the Beast Emperor said, that children of Yin who entered the Origin Ancestral Land never returned. This was the advantage of living long. Old Tree had lived for too long and knew far more than the Beast Emperor. Through Old Tree's narration, Lin Moyu gained a new understanding of the two great origins of Yin and Yang. Yin and Yang were two origin great Taos of the Origin continent, and also the two most difficult great Taos to comprehend. The difficulty of comprehending them surpassed any other great Tao. Although they were present day and night, seen by everyone, unlike other great Taos that were mysterious, only those acknowledged by them had the qualifications to comprehend them. Even so, since ancient times, no child of Yin or child of Yang had truly comprehended them. However, one thing was certain, both children of Yin and children of Yang had naturally strong karmic luck. The Origin Ancestral Land seemed to randomly select entrants, but there was actually a certain pattern. It definitely wasn't choosing randomly. Lin Moyu guessed it was most likely related to karmic luck and cultivation level. Great Tao realm beings couldn't enter. Even Tao lords couldn't enter. Only those below Great Tao realm with strong enough luck could enter. Lin Moyu thought to himself, it seems I can't advance to Great Tao realm before entering the Origin Ancestral Land. The Origin Ancestral Land holds the secrets of the Boundary Sea World. The Boundary Sea World must hide great secrets. I must uncover them. Over countless years, there have been many children of Yin, but after entering, only a very few have returned. The return rate is extremely low. But not returning doesn't mean they've died. No one has seen the corpses of those who didn't return. And those who did return couldn't clearly explain what happened inside. Their memories seem to have been tampered with, leaving only some fragmented scenes. What kind of place is the Origin Ancestral Land, really? Lin Moyu had a feeling that the Origin Ancestral Land was a place he must go. Just for the secrets of the Origin interface, it was worth him making a trip. In the Great World, he had once seen a projection of another world, and that world was extremely similar to the world of his previous life. That world didn't belong to the Origin continent, nor to any other Boundary Sea world. If so, there was only one possibility, the projection came from another Origin interface. The two arrived at the end of the 8th extreme glacier. Old Tree said softly, the 9th extreme glacier is very cold. Can you handle it? Lin Moyu smiled and said, if this junior can't handle it, isn't Elder still here? Old Tree laughed heartily, then let's go see that old fellow. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real Life Player. Your Girlfriend Was Amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my P at TR30N. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3372, 3372. Chapter 3372, GU Family Ancestor, Cold Sun's Secret Technique. From Old Tree's words, Lin Moyu obtained a lot of information, even overturning many of his previous understandings. His understanding of various aspects of the origin continent became clearer. Lin Moyu always believed that the clearer one's understanding of the essence of the world, the greater the help for cultivation. The process of cultivation is the process of not understanding the essence of the world. When one day he could analyze every detail of the entire world from its roots, then he could create a new origin continent. All great Taos, the entire world, would be under his control. This was Lin Moyu's pursuit in his heart. He had never told anyone about it, and rarely even mentioned it to himself. He suppressed this idea deep in his heart. All he could do was to constantly move towards this goal. The wind in the 9th extreme was very cold. Even 9th level Tao Venerables would shiver here, unable to endure for long. Old Tree said softly, the 9th extreme is closest to the Endless Glacier. The Endless Glacier is the center of this strange treasure, so the temperature in the 9th extreme is very low, with the cold air carrying great Tao power. If you can't handle it, just tell this old man. Don't force yourself. Lin Moyu felt the cold air hitting his face. It was indeed very cold, but it only made him feel cold. The essence of the cold air hadn't changed. The power Great Tao had already made him immune to it. Lin Moyu said, "Thank you for your concern, Old Tree. This junior can still handle it." Seeing Lin Moyu was fine, Old Tree nodded, "Good, follow me then. I've already sensed Old Gu's aura." The sensing ability of Great Tao realm beings was indeed powerful. When Lin Moyu still couldn't find the direction, Old Tree already knew where to go. Lin Moyu was very clear that although his soul was also an 8th grade innate soul, and even in the late stage, not necessarily inferior to Old Tree's. But his realm was too low. In the use of soul power, there was an extreme gap between him and Old Tree. The land of the 9th extreme no longer had glacier tea trees, just endless glacier as far as the eye could see. The two walked on the glacier, moving extremely fast. Gradually, Lin Moyu sensed a powerful aura. This aura came from a distant place, still very far from him. Old Tree chuckled, "How about it, you've sensed it, right?" Lin Moyu nodded, indicating he had sensed it. Old Tree laughed heartily, as expected of a child of Yin. "Your soul's sensitivity is already not inferior to those who have just entered the Great Tao realm. Although I don't know what level your soul has reached, it must not be low." Lin Moyu knew Old Tree had seen through some things. He didn't conceal it. This junior was fortunate enough to have his soul enter the innate stage. Old Tree's footsteps suddenly paused. He looked over with surprise, indeed, truly reached the innate stage. "Congratulations, young friend. The door to the Great Tao realm has already opened for you. Your future achievements will be limitless." Lin Moyu said, "Thank you for your kind words, Elder." Old Tree saw Lin Moyu's unsurprised expression and said with a smile, "It seems someone has already told you about this." Lin Moyu said, "There are still a few Great Tao realm elders on the origin continent now. They all have good relationships with this junior and have told me many things." Old Tree said, "In that case, you should cultivate well and enter the Great Tao realm as soon as possible." Lin Moyu said, "I will, but this junior still wants to go to the origin ancestral land once." Old Tree looked at Lin Moyu, "You are a child of Yin. Once you go to the origin ancestral land, you probably won't come back." Lin Moyu said, "This junior has a puzzle in his heart that can probably only be solved in the origin ancestral land. Is this puzzle so important? You're even willing to take such a risk?" Old Tree scrutinized Lin Moyu, as if in his eyes, Lin Moyu's decision was somewhat incorrect. Lin Moyu said, "It is indeed very important. If this puzzle isn't solved, this junior's Tao heart won't be stable. Moreover, this junior feels that the origin ancestral land isn't a place of no return. It might even become an opportunity for this junior." Old Tree slowly nodded, "If you really think so, then go do it. For us cultivators, the most important thing is to face our true hearts, do what we want to do, and not have too many concerns." Lin Moyu smiled and didn't say much more. His personality was just like this. Once he decided on something, he would definitely do it. The two walked for a full hour, covering who knows how much distance. Lin Moyu saw an explosion of light in the distant sky. In the pure white sky, a ball of flames appeared. The flames were like the sun's origin, illuminating heaven and earth. But strangely, the light emitted by this ball of flames had no temperature. Instead, it made people feel colder. Old Tree said, "This is Old Goo's cold sun secret technique. It seems he's fighting someone." Lin Moyu had never heard of the cold sun secret technique. Old Tree said, "Old Gu once had a fortuitous encounter. His bloodline underwent a mutation, becoming the Cold Plum bloodline, which could be passed on to his clan members. Based on the Cold Plum bloodline, Old Gu created two great secret techniques. This cold sun secret technique is one of them. The cold sun secret technique looks like a blazing sun on the outside, but is extremely cold inside. Yang outside, yin inside. Even glacier beasts can't withstand it." Although the distance was still very far, Lin Moyu could already feel the power of the cold sun secret technique. If he were to face the cold sun secret technique, he probably couldn't last even half a second. Moreover, the range of the cold sun secret technique was extremely large, like an area of effect attack. Even if he used the undead army as meat shields, it would be useless. Countless cold air was mobilized by the secret technique, converging towards the blazing sun in the distant sky. Old Tree stopped far away, then stood in front of Lin Moyu. In this 9 extremes glacier, the power of the cold sun secret technique is stronger than in the outside world. Rolling power surged within his body. Several huge leaves appeared on his body, transforming into shields that firmly protected the two of them. Then, the cold sun secret technique erupted. Cold air swept over like a flood. The secret technique didn't distinguish between friend and foe. Everything within its range was frozen to death. After releasing all the cold air, the blazing sun fell with a boom. Like a meteor striking the earth, the glacier shook non-stop. Flames rose from the ground. The flames only had an outer form without temperature. But the next second, the temperature of the flames rose sharply, instantly reaching a terrifying degree. Lin Moyu saw plum blossoms rising within the flames, then the plum blossoms exploded violently. An area of 1,000 miles was shattered to pieces. Dense cracks appeared on the glacier. Though the cracks weren't deep, it was enough to show how incredibly powerful this secret technique was. If Old Tree hadn't been protecting him, Lin Moyu would probably have been killed by mistake. Several breaths later, the cold air and fierce flames all disappeared. However, Old Tree didn't withdraw his defense. He said in a low voice, "It's not over yet." As life and death battle companions, Old Tree knew the Gu family ancestor very well and knew it hadn't ended. Just as the flames and cold air disappeared, dense runes suddenly appeared in the sky. They were all divine runes. These divine runes were incredibly complex, jumping and dancing in the sky, forming an ancient and terrifying formation. The divine rune formation sent down countless attacks from the sky. It wasn't like it was killing enemies, all enemies had already been killed by the cold sun secret technique. The rune formation seemed more like it was cleaning up the battlefield. Wherever its attacks passed, nothing remained. All fragments turned to dust, leaving only flat glacier ground. Only when the divine runes disappeared and the formation vanished did Old Tree withdraw his defense. He called out loudly, "Old Gu, is this how you welcome this old man?" Several seconds later, a hearty voice came from ahead, "How do I have time to welcome you? Come over quickly and help." Old Tree frowned slightly, "There's actually more. You stay here. This old man will go take a look." As he spoke, Old Tree charged out with a boom. At the place where he had been, a large tree appeared. It was Old Tree's avatar. Old Tree went to help but didn't forget about Lin Moyu, using his avatar to protect him. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real Life Player. Your Girlfriend Was Amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my P at TR30N. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up, go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3373, 3373. Chapter 3373, it was this sentence that caused the problem. Lin Moyu hadn't thought about needing Old Tree's protection, but he didn't refuse his goodwill either. Indeed, with his cultivation level, if he went over, he could very likely be in danger. The space beside him distorted as he summoned Suku. Go take a look. At his command, Supu responded and rushed over. Through Supu's vision, Lin Moyu could also get a full view. With Supu's realm, as long as he didn't participate in the battle, mere aftershocks couldn't kill him. As long as a revived didn't die, no matter how severe the injuries, it didn't matter. They could recover after being recalled. Through Supu's vision, Lin Moyu saw the great battle. A 1,000-meter-tall giant, wielding a huge battle blade, was fighting against a person in black. Divine runes flashed on the battle blade. With each attack, a formation would form, attacking along with the blade. The formation's function was simple, to replicate the attack. However strong the battle blade's attack was, the formation would replicate an equally strong attack, thus doubling the combat power. The Gu family ancestors' blade strikes were like lightning, thousands of blade shadows every second, completely enveloping the black-robed person in blade light. Lin Moyu recognized at a glance that the black-robed person was the Black Blood Fist Saint. He swung a pair of black iron fists, clashing hard with the Gu family ancestors' battle blade. The sharp blade couldn't cut through his fists. The Gu family ancestors' attacks were mostly blocked by his fists. The few attacks that landed on his body only made it tremble slightly, without causing any substantial damage. The Black Blood Fist Saint's attack power wasn't as strong as a Black Blood Sword Saint's, but his defense was far stronger than a Sword Saint's. Now seeing it with his own eyes, this point was further confirmed. His defense was indeed incredibly strong. The Gu family ancestor was a genuine Great Tao Realm being. In Lin Moyu's view, he was only stronger, not weaker, than Old Tree. Even withering and flourishing elder, facing the Gu family ancestor's string of attacks, if not killed, would be severely injured. But the Black Blood Fist Saint was unscathed, showing how strong his defense was. Old Tree arrived, throwing out his walking stick. In an instant, it transformed into countless vines falling down, immediately entangling the Black Blood Fist Saint. The Gu family ancestor shouted angrily, "Slash!" The divine runes on the battle blade flashed brightly. The blade's aura instantly strengthened several times. A sharp aura swept out, immediately causing countless wounds on Supu's body. The attack hadn't even landed yet, the aftershocks hadn't even occurred, but just the aura had caused superficial injuries to Supu. So strong. Lin Moyu had Supu move further away. He was afraid that if Supu couldn't withstand it and really died there, he would suffer a great loss. What he worried about didn't happen. The Gu family ancestor's attack was extremely focused, turning into an incredibly sharp blade light that passed through the Black Blood Fist Saint's body. The Black Blood Fist Saint's body was violently cut into two halves. Boom! The Black Blood Fist Saint's body exploded, transforming into countless black blood lines that pierced through space, escaping to the distance from another dimension, quickly disappearing. Old Tree said in a low voice, still able to escape as usual. The Gu family ancestor put away his battle blade, his body rapidly shrinking back to normal size. He looked at Old Tree. "Why did you come down? What's the situation up there?" It seemed like he was questioning, but anyone could hear the concern in his words, as well as the joy of reuniting with an old friend after many years. Just hearing this one sentence, Lin Moyu knew that the Gu family ancestor should be someone cold on the outside but warm on the inside. Old Tree chuckled, "For me to be able to come down, naturally I've already dealt with that fellow up there. This time you've fallen behind. Tell me, how many times did he escape from you?" The Gu family ancestor snorted lightly. "You old fellow could deal with it. I'd believe that when pigs fly." Old Tree smiled. "Believe it or not, it's the truth." The Gu family ancestor clearly didn't believe it. "Stop talking nonsense. What did you come for?" Old Tree said, "There's a young fellow who wants to see you. This old man is just showing the way." Lin Moyu walked over and bowed to the Gu family ancestor. "Junior Lin Moyu greets elder." The Gu family ancestor looked Lin Moyu over. "You're only at 4th level Dao Venerable. How did you get here? Who opened the formation for you?" Before Lin Moyu could speak, Old Tree had already snorted lightly. "Old Gu, why are you so impolite? The young fellow is at least this old man's friend. Be a bit more courteous." The Gu family ancestor glanced at Old Tree. "How am I not courteous?" Old Tree clicked his tongue. "Whether you're courteous or not, you know yourself. Young friend Lin, this fellow's temper is a bit strange. After all, his surname is Gu, a unknown currency, meaning ancient, so it's normal for him to be a bit strange, a unknown currency, a Guguai. Don't mind him too much. His name is Gu Hanyu. You can call him by name directly, or even call him Old Gu. Lin Moyu naturally could hear that Old Tree was actually speaking for Gu Hanyu. He was afraid that Gu Hanyu would be impolite to Lin Moyu, and then Lin Moyu would turn and leave. Old Tree knew very clearly that without his help, they would have a hard time killing the Black Blood Fist Saint's remnant soul. As long as the Black Blood Fist Saint's remnant soul wasn't killed, they couldn't leave and couldn't regain their freedom. Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't call him by name directly. And after knowing Gu Hanyu's temper, he wouldn't get angry because of some of his words. Lin Moyu said, the current Holy Lord of the Coldwater Holy Land, Gu Hanbing, opened the formation for this junior. Gu Hanyu raised an eyebrow. It seems they still followed this old man's instructions and established a power there. The history of the Coldwater Holy Land wasn't as long as the time Gu Hanyu had existed. The 9 Extremes Glacier appeared during the Origin Catastrophe, while the Coldwater Holy Land appeared long after the Origin Catastrophe ended. During this time, other powers were outside the 9 Extremes Glacier. After the Coldwater Holy Land appeared, those powers were driven away, and the 9 Extremes Glacier truly belonged to the Coldwater Holy Land. Lin Moyu said, the Coldwater Holy Land has been established for many years. The 9 Extremes Glacier is within the Holy Land. The Gu family is also doing well. It has now become a top power among humans. Elder Gu doesn't need to worry. As he spoke, Lin Moyu took out the Bloodline Jade Tablet. It contained Gu Hanbing's bloodline. Gu Hanyu would definitely be able to sense it. Gu Hanyu took the Jade Tablet and glanced at it. His expression unchanged, he still looked at Lin Moyu. Although this old man didn't give specific instructions, the 9 Extremes Glacier isn't a place just anyone can enter. Why would the Gu family open the formation for you? Lin Moyu said, this junior and the current Holy Lord of the Coldwater Holy Land are in love and want to marry. But the Holy Land has a rule that the Holy Lord cannot marry. This rule was said to be established by you. The Gu family descendants don't dare to change it without permission. So this junior came down to find you, hoping you could change this rule. Gu Hanyu's expression changed slightly. Nonsense. When did I ever make such a rule? Lin Moyu asked in surprise, you didn't make it. Gu Hanyu said decisively, of course not. Men and women in love, of course they can marry. What does it have to do with being Holy Lord or not? Even in the Great Dao realm, finding a Dao partner is a common thing. What's the problem? A Holy Lord isn't some unique treasure that can't be married off. Old Tree, listening on the side, laughed heartily, I like what you're saying. Your temper is sometimes useful. Lin Moyu thought for a moment. The Coldwater Holy Land indeed has this rule, said to be passed down from ancestors. The source should be you. Think again, what did you say back then? Gu Hanyu frowned, thinking. Although countless years had passed, a great Dao realm being's memory wouldn't be lost. He said softly, could it be that sentence? Old Tree asked with a smile, remembered something. Gu Hanyu said, back then, I only instructed them to do their best to ensure bloodline inheritance. Could it be that this sentence caused the problem? Slap. Old Tree slapped his thigh, that's right. It was this sentence that caused the problem. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real Life Player. Your Girlfriend Was Amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my P at TR30N. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My P at Trian is now up, go to email protected translate toki. Remove the at symbol and type a. Chapter 3374. 3374. Chapter 3374, but why should this old man change it? Ensuring bloodline inheritance, the best way is to marry within the clan and not marry outsiders. Of course, this is not absolute. Those with weak bloodlines can marry outsiders, but those with strong bloodlines naturally cannot marry out. In fact, many clans use this method to ensure the purity of their bloodline. Although humans don't have special bloodlines like demon clans, humans still pay attention to the purity of their bloodlines. There's a saying among humans, those not of our kind must be of a different heart. This saying can refer to the entire human race on a large scale, or to a single clan on a small scale. The rules of the Coldwater Holy Land were established and perfected generation after generation this way. To become the Holy Lord, one's bloodline must be strong and pure. Then, to ensure bloodline inheritance, the Holy Lord must not marry outsiders. They either don't marry, or they find someone within the clan with an equally strong bloodline to marry. Ji-yu Hanyu was naturally not stupid. He immediately understood what had happened. He said softly, "This old man didn't mean it that way back then." Lin Moyu said, "What you meant back then is no longer important. You could establish rules then, and you can change the rules now." Old Tree said, "That's right, the rules were made by you, so you can just change them. It's just a matter of saying a word." Ji-yu Hanyu nodded, "That makes sense, but why should this old man change it?" Lin Moyu and Old Tree were both stunned for a moment, looking at Ji-yu Hanyu in confusion. Ji-yu Hanyu's train of thought seemed to be different from what they had imagined. Ji-yu Hanyu said, "This old man is after all the ancestor of the Ji-yu family. If you want to be my Ji-yu family's son-in-law, you should at least let this old man know if you're qualified, right?" So that's what it was about. Lin Moyu breathed a sigh of relief. How does Elder want this junior to prove himself? Old Tree clicked his tongue. "Old Ji-yu, isn't Lin Moyu coming all the way here proof enough?" Ji-yu Hanyu said, "There are many ways to get here. Perhaps he has a powerful protective treasure, or perhaps someone escorted him. That's not enough." Old Tree frowned, grumbling angrily, "What's wrong with you? You were stubborn before, and after all these years, you've gotten even worse. To tell you the truth, the black blood remnant soul in the 8th extreme was eliminated with young friend Lin's help. Otherwise, do you think I could be here freely?" Ji-yu Hanyu looked at Lin Moyu. He killed the black blood remnant soul. He clearly didn't believe it. Even he, a great Tao realm being, couldn't kill the black blood remnant soul. How could Lin Moyu, a little 4th level Tao Venerable, have the ability? "You don't believe it, do you?" Old Tree snorted coldly. "Young friend Lin, show your great Tao essence fire to let this fellow take a look." Lin Moyu flipped his palm, and a ball of fierce flames rose up. The world-burning fire was different from ordinary flames. Its special aura could be seen as extraordinary at a glance. A great Tao realm being like Ji-yu Hanyu could naturally recognize it. He couldn't help but exclaim, "Great Tao essence fire." Old Tree chuckled smugly, "Now you know, right? Young friend Lin can even control great Tao essence fire. Marrying your descendant is a blessing from his previous life." Being able to control great Tao essence fire meant that Lin Moyu's talent, luck, and future were immeasurable. Ji-yu Hanyu said, "Since ancient times, there have been those who could control great Tao essence fire, but they were all truly powerful beings. You're only at 4th level Tao Venerable, yet you've controlled great Tao essence fire. It's indeed unprecedented, and no wonder you could kill the black blood remnant soul." Seeing the great Tao essence fire, Ji-yu Hanyu fully acknowledged Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu said, "Elder hasn't said yet how you want this junior to prove himself." Ji-yu Hanyu said, "You have great Tao essence fire, which is enough to prove your ability. How about helping this old man with something?" Lin Moyu said, "Do you want this junior to find a way to kill the Black Blood Fist Saint?" Ji-yu Hanyu nodded, "That's right. This fellow is too cunning. Once he's losing, he'll transform into blood and escape. This old man has chased and killed him for countless years, fought with him countless times, but in the end, he always escapes." Lin Moyu said, "This junior has a way to trap and kill him. Even if he transforms into blood to escape, he won't be able to get out. However, this junior is unclear about one thing. Shouldn't the Black Blood Fist Saint be trapped beneath the glacier? Why is he out? There were no glacier tea trees here. The Black Blood Remnant Soul should have been suppressed beneath the glacier. How did it escape?" Ji-yu Hanyu said, "The 9th extreme is different from the first 8 extremes. The Black Blood Remnant Soul here isn't suppressed by the glacier, which is why this old man is stationed here to prevent it from escaping. Tree and I jointly drive the strange treasure, but our abilities are limited, and our control over the strange treasure is also limited." The Black Blood Fist Saint's soul was shattered. The portion in the Endless Glacier is slightly larger, and most of the strange treasure's power is concentrated there. Next are the 9th and 8th extremes. The power of the strange treasure we can drive can only suppress 2 extremes. This old man's strength is slightly greater, so I'm stationed at the 9th extreme, freezing the remnant soul in the 8th extreme, with Tree guarding it." Old Tree immediately cried out, Old Gu, that's not right. How am I not as good as you? Gu Hanyu didn't argue, I didn't say you're not as good. Old Tree pointed his walking stick at Gu Hanyu, you clearly said your strength is slightly greater. Gu Hanyu said, I'm telling the truth. You're at mid-stage 8th grade innate soul, I'm at late stage. Old Tree said, indeed, this old man's realm is a tiny bit lower than yours, but so what? This old man is a glacier tea tree. In a real fight, you might not be my match. Gu Hanyu neither agreed nor disagreed, your realm is indeed not as high as mine. Old Tree shouted angrily, let this old man fight you and see who's stronger. Gu Hanyu said, the task isn't completed. We can't fight. The two went back and forth, and Lin Moyu almost couldn't hold back his laughter. These two were really funny. Old Tree looked kind and gentle, but his personality was like a child's. Gu Hanyu was cold on the outside but warm on the inside, speaking seriously, almost angering Old Tree to death. Lin Moyu didn't try to mediate. He let them argue to their heart's content. This kind of thing had probably happened many times between them. Sure enough, after arguing for a long time, they didn't end up fighting. But from their conversation, Lin Moyu already understood what was going on. The black blood remnant soul in the 9th extreme had never been suppressed from the beginning. Gu Hanyu had fought with it countless times. In terms of strength, Gu Hanyu was stronger, always winning in their countless encounters. But he also couldn't truly kill the black blood remnant soul. Not only was its defense powerful, but its vitality was also strong. Every time it was beaten back, it could recover in no time. Every time it transformed into blood to escape, it could merge into another dimension. Gu Hanyu was helpless against this. Old Tree seemed to be tired of arguing. He looked at Lin Moyu angrily, do you have any way to deal with that fellow? This old man wants to complete the task quickly, then return to the outer Great Dao and have a good fight with this fellow to see who's stronger. Gu Hanyu ignored Old Tree and said to Lin Moyu, this matter probably won't be easy. You can think it over carefully. Lin Moyu had already made up his mind, I already have a method. It's not very difficult, I just need to make some preparations. However, I still need Elder's cooperation. After this junior is prepared, please lure the black blood remnant soul over. Gu Hanyu said, no problem. Lin Moyu looked at the sky, there should be a formation you've set up here. Please reveal it and tell me about the formation situation. This junior also needs to set up a formation and doesn't want to cause conflicts. Alright, Gu Hanyu agreed very readily, throwing a jade tablet to Lin Moyu. You'll understand when you look at this. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real-Life Player. Your Girlfriend Was Amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my P at TR30N. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My P at Trian is now up, go to email protected translate toki. Remove the at symbol and type a. Chapter 3375, 3375. Chapter 3375, A Strange Sense of Familiarity with Divine Runes. Gu Hanyu was very generous, to the point that it surprised Lin Moyu. The jade tablet contained a vast amount of information, including almost the entire set of divine rune functions, explanations, and methods for using divine runes to set up formations. Through this jade tablet, Lin Moyu could almost completely understand the basic structure of divine runes from scratch, and even use divine runes to set up formations. Gu Hanyu said, not everyone can master formations. It mainly depends on talent. Since you know formations, you should be able to understand this. His voice sounded somewhat cold, but Lin Moyu knew he wasn't really being cold. If Lin Moyu truly didn't understand something, he could ask, and Gu Hanyu wouldn't be stingy with answers. Lin Moyu said, this junior will take a look first. If there's anything I don't understand, I'll ask Elder. Gu Hanyu gave a light, and didn't say anything more. Old Tree said, Old Gu, you may not know, but we've been here for countless years. The outside world has long since changed. Our method of setting up formations is now completely different from current formation methods. He was actually saying this partly to Lin Moyu, telling him to ask if he didn't understand. After all, the divine rune formation method was very different from current formation methods, almost two completely different approaches. There was no shame in asking. Ji Yu Hanyu raised an eyebrow. The formation method has changed. Old Tree said, not just a small change, but a big one. Although this old man doesn't understand formations, I can see that much. You may not be able to figure out this set of methods in a short time. Similarly, if Lin Moyu were to tell you about current formation methods, you wouldn't be able to understand them quickly either. Ji Yu Hanyu said softly, all methods return to the source. No matter how much the way of formations changes, it still follows the same principles. If one truly has talent, they can naturally find the correct path through the changes. Old Tree shook his head and sighed, you just can't say a few pleasant words, can you? Ji Yu Hanyu said, I'm just telling the truth. Listen if you want, it doesn't matter if you don't. Faced with the unyielding Ji Yu Hanyu, Old Tree was helpless. At this moment, Lin Moyu had completely immersed himself in the sea of divine runes, his mind focused. He didn't hear a word of the conversation between Old Tree and Ji Yu Hanyu. He had studied divine runes before, but with no one to teach him and no divine rune materials, his progress had been very slow. He wasn't sure if the insights he had gained and his various guesses were correct. Now, with the jade tablet Ji Yu Hanyu gave him, Lin Moyu felt a sense of sudden enlightenment. His previous guesses about divine runes were validated, some were correct, some were wrong. Keeping the correct ones and discarding the wrong ones, Lin Moyu began to walk the path of divine runes. Lin Moyu didn't immediately start learning divine runes, but instead explored their essence. He knew very clearly that for anything, once you thoroughly understand its essence, learning becomes much easier. Understanding the reason behind something makes it easier to understand the thing itself. Looking at the information about divine runes in the jade tablet, for some unknown reason, Lin Moyu again felt a strange sense of familiarity in his heart. This feeling was very odd, like when he first saw runes and felt this sense of familiarity in his heart. It was as if at some point, he had come into contact with runes, even drawn them himself. Later, when researching artifact and rune formations, this sense of familiarity had also appeared faintly, though not as strongly as when he first saw runes. However, this time, when he truly came into contact with the essence of divine runes, the sense of familiarity appeared and was incredibly strong, even stronger than when he first saw runes. This strange and intense sense of familiarity brought Lin Moyu unimaginable benefits. He could almost instantly understand various aspects of divine runes and immediately apply them flexibly. In an extremely short time, Lin Moyu had already found the commonalities between divine runes and understood the similarities and differences between ancient divine rune formations and current formations. So divine runes aren't just single runes, they themselves are a fusion of artifacts and runes. Soul power can be used to draw runes, but divine runes require some special materials fused with soul power to draw. No wonder I couldn't understand before. The ancestor who comprehended divine runes was truly a genius. Previously, Lin Moyu had tried to draw divine runes but had never succeeded. Imitation didn't work, nor did copying exactly. Lin Moyu's imitation wasn't simply imitating the form, but using his keen sensing ability to adjust his soul's vibration frequency to exactly match that of the divine rune. But he still couldn't succeed. Those repeated failures had once made Lin Moyu feel disappointed. He realized that he must be missing something. Before, he didn't know what was missing, but now he finally knew. The power contained in divine runes wasn't purely soul power, but soul power fused with some special substances. These substances could be various heavenly and earthly treasures, or other things containing powerful forces. The most commonly used was origin crystals. Using soul power to refine origin crystals, fusing with them, and turning them into ink. It seemed the soul power hadn't changed at all, but internally it had already changed. Using this as ink to draw divine runes, then forming formations with the divine runes, created the foundation for artifact formations. Combined with the inherent properties of divine rune formations could be directly considered perfect formations, equivalent to artifact formations and rune formations fused together. In addition, to bring out the special effects of divine runes, their structure was fundamentally different from runes. They were more complex, more profound, and closer to the way of formations. Artifact formations, rune formations, including runes, are actually products of breaking down and simplifying divine runes. The ancestor who broke down divine runes back then was indeed a genius, but he went down the wrong path. Lin Moyu finally understood why no formation master today had truly comprehended the great Tao of formations, let alone attained the Tao through formations. When everyone thought formations were just an external force, little did they know they had gone down the wrong path themselves. If the path is wrong, no matter how far you walk, you can't reach the destination. Now Lin Moyu finally saw how to walk the correct path. Although the path he had walked before was wrong, all those experiences became lessons and wouldn't be wasted. After seeing through the essence of divine runes, Lin Moyu didn't immediately start learning and comprehending divine runes. Divine runes were extremely profound and complex. To truly master them would require a lot of time, and now wasn't the time. Lin Moyu directly skipped the basics and went on to look at the divine rune formation Jiyu Hanyu had set up. This divine rune formation was called the Falling Light formation. In terms of current formation levels, it was equivalent to an 8th grade formation, quite powerful. An 8th grade formation couldn't threaten the Black Blood Remnant soul, but it was enough to deal with glacier beasts, and Jiyu Hanyu mainly used it to clean up the battlefield. In this 9th extreme glacier, Jiyu Hanyu had set up many falling light formations, allowing him to battle the Black Blood Remnant soul in various places. Besides the falling light formation, there were some other divine rune formations. The divine rune formations combined to form a tight defense line. For so many years, neither the Black Blood Remnant soul nor the glacier beasts had been able to break through this defense line. Jiyu Hanyu had firmly trapped them, unable to advance an inch. After understanding the falling light formation, Lin Moyu knew what he needed to do. Origin crystal after origin crystal flew out, heading towards the void. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real-life player. Your girlfriend was amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my P at TR30N. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My P at Trian is now up, go to email protected translate toki. Remove the at symbol and type a. Chapter 3376, 3376. Chapter 3376, Jiyu Hanyu's Shock. When Lin Moyu suddenly started setting up a formation, Jiyu Hanyu's face showed a hint of surprise. It had only been a short time, less than an hour at most. What could be done in an hour? Probably not even 1/10,000th of the Jade Tablet's content could be fully read. Setting up a formation within the range of his falling light formation, wasn't he afraid of conflicts between formations causing unpredictable events? Jiyu Hanyu's first impression was that Lin Moyu was too rash, and he shook his head slightly. Old Tree had a similar feeling, knowing that learning formations wasn't something that could be done overnight, but required years of comprehension. The formation masters he knew took thousands or tens of thousands of years to comprehend formations. Young friend Lin seems to be a bit too rash. Old Tree thought to himself, giving Jiyu Hanyu a look, hoping he would keep an eye on things, at least to prevent conflicts between formations. However, Jiyu Hanyu ignored it, as if he hadn't seen it. Old Tree knew that Jiyu Hanyu wanted Lin Moyu to realize his own rashness and back down on his own. Old Tree didn't say anything about this. He knew Jiyu Hanyu's temperament well. Since he had already made up his mind, no matter how much Old Tree said, it would be in vain. Better to say nothing. Origin crystal after origin crystal flew out, quickly falling into designated positions. The origin crystals were connected to each other using Lin Moyu's soul power as a bond. At the same time, Lin Moyu was drawing runes. Extremely complex runes flew out from his fingertips, also combining to form an even more complex formation. The runes Lin Moyu drew had reached an extremely complex level. Their structure was three-dimensional. Even ordinary Dao Venerables might feel dizzy looking at them for a few moments. But in Lin Moyu's hands, these three-dimensional runes formed an even more complex formation. Lin Moyu's movements were as smooth as flowing water, like a visual feast. Even Jiyu Hanyu couldn't help but look at Lin Moyu differently. In his view, the difficulty of these runes was already no less than many basic divine runes. In other words, if Lin Moyu were to draw divine runes, he could easily produce some basic divine runes. Gradually, Ji Yu Hanyu's gaze changed. The hint of disdain in his eyes disappeared. So this is modern formations. Indeed somewhat different from divine rune formations. He could naturally see that both artifact formations and rune formations were actually things broken down from divine runes. Both were simpler than divine runes. Either one alone wasn't as effective as divine runes. But if the two were fused together, the effect could approach that of divine runes to the greatest extent. However, achieving this fusion was extremely difficult, even more so than directly drawing divine runes. In this sense, if Lin Moyu could fuse the two together, once he used divine runes to set up formations, he would also be an extremely powerful formation master. After watching for a while longer, as the formation became more and more complete, Ji Yu Hanyu's eyes showed gravity, and even a hint of surprise. He discovered that when setting up the formation, Lin Moyu avoided his falling light formation, not causing any conflicts with it. If it happened once or twice, it could be coincidence, but 10 or 8 times couldn't be coincidence. It could only mean that Lin Moyu already knew the positions of all the nodes in the falling light formation, which was why he could perfectly avoid them. Impossible, how could he master the falling light formation in such a short time? Ji Yu Hanyu found it hard to accept. The falling light formation was his masterpiece, a high-level divine rune formation. Even he had spent a lot of time to master the falling light formation back then. How could such a complex formation be mastered so quickly? Even if the entire formation were laid out flat in front of someone with explanations, it would take at least 100 years to understand. Ji Yu Hanyu couldn't believe it, but what happened next forced him to believe. When Lin Moyu had set up about half of the formation, he suddenly stopped and said to Ji Yu Hanyu, "Elder, please forgive me." As he spoke, his 2 fingers turned into a blade. Using soul power as the edge, he lightly slashed towards the front. A light sound came from the space, as if something had broken. Ji Yu Hanyu's eyes trembled violently. Heavens! Lin Moyu didn't notice Ji Yu Hanyu's expression and continued setting up the formation. Old Tree curiously transmitted, "Old Ji Yu, what happened?" After being stunned for several seconds, Ji Yu Hanyu replied, "He cut my falling light formation." Old Tree was also stunned, as if struck by lightning. He understood too well what Ji Yu Hanyu meant, and couldn't help asking, "How did he do it?" Ji Yu Hanyu said, "How would I know?" Ji Yu Hanyu couldn't believe it, yet had to believe it. The formation Lin Moyu was setting up had finally conflicted with the falling light formation. One formation node's position overlapped and couldn't be avoided. So Lin Moyu said, "Please forgive me," and used the simplest method, directly using his soul power to invoke the power of the Great Tao to cut off this node of the falling light formation. This way, the falling light formation was essentially cracked, its effect greatly reduced. But the entire falling light formation still existed and hadn't collapsed. Being able to do this meant that Lin Moyu had truly seen through the entire structure of the falling light formation. After being silent for several seconds, Ji Yu Hanyu had to admit, he really saw through the falling light formation. His talent in formations far surpasses mine. At this moment, Ji Yu Hanyu felt somewhat bitter. He, a mighty great Tao realm being, was actually inferior in formation talent to this little 4th-level Tao venerable fellow in front of him. Moreover, Lin Moyu had only lived for about 3,000 years. Being able to cultivate to 4th-level Tao venerable was already a rare genius, let alone mastering formations to this degree. This kind of talent was frightening to even think about. A feeling arose in Ji Yu Hanyu's heart that Lin Moyu's future achievements would likely surpass everyone's imagination. Finally, Lin Moyu completed setting up the ceiling formation. The artifact formation and rune formation were perfectly fused. The 8th grade ceiling formation was comparable to some 9th grade formations. In terms of grade alone, the ceiling formation was already not inferior to the falling light formation. Once trapped inside, there was almost no possibility of escape for anyone below the Great Tao realm. Even Great Tao realm beings would be trapped for quite some time. But this wasn't the end. With a thought from Lin Moyu, the Space Great Tao suddenly appeared. Ji Yu Hanyu and Old Tree said in unison, "Space Great Tao." They were clearly surprised that Lin Moyu could master the Space Great Tao. It wasn't something just any genius could master. Lin Moyu said, "The black blood remnant soul can transform into blood to escape." I found that when it transforms into blood, it can penetrate space, so I need to add the space Great Tao to the formation to restrict this ability. It's like adding an extra layer of insurance. Ji Yu Hanyu said, doing so is indeed more prudent. Old Tree said, the more thoroughly we prepare, the greater our chance of killing it. That fellow is very cunning. We only have one chance. It will be difficult to trick it a second time. The black blood remnant soul in the 9th extreme wasn't suppressed beneath the glacier. Once it hid, it wouldn't be so easy to find. So they needed to be fully prepared to kill it in one strike. Lin Moyu thought for a moment. In that case, let's add another layer of insurance. Boom! With a rumbling sound, another Great Tao appeared. The Time Great Tao and Space Great Tao intertwined like two divine dragons. Ji Yu Hanyu exclaimed, Time Great Tao. Lin Moyu said, I've fused the power of the Space Great Tao and Time Great Tao to form space-time power. This should be foolproof. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real Life Player. Your Girlfriend Was Amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my P at TR30N. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My P at Trian is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the at symbol and type a. Chapter 3377, 3377. Chapter 3377. Burn it quickly, lest the night grow long and dreams multiply. Ji Yu Hanyu and Old Tree were speechless. Not only was he young, but his realm was also high, and he had comprehended multiple Great Taos. Not only had he comprehended multiple Great Taos, but they were the Time Great Tao and Space Great Tao, half virtual, half real Great Taos that were extremely difficult to comprehend. He hadn't just comprehended these two Great Taos, but could even fuse them to form space-time power. It wasn't just his cultivation realm and Great Tao comprehension, but even his attainment in formations was at such a high level. They really wanted to ask, is there anything you can't do? Watching Lin Moyu use space-time power to envelop the ceiling formation, causing it to fall into another space-time and completely disappear from sight. Even he couldn't sense the existence of the ceiling formation. Ji Yu Hanyu finally couldn't hold back and asked, how many Great Taos have you comprehended? Lin Moyu didn't conceal it. 6. Old Tree cried out in surprise. 6. Lin Moyu nodded. Yes, 6. Ji Yu Hanyu immediately asked, are there any illusory type Great Taos? Lin Moyu said, yes, the Luck Great Tao and Power Great Tao. Old Tree suddenly realized, no wonder you're not afraid of the cold air. You're already immune to it. As Great Tao realm beings, they naturally had some understanding of the Great Taos. Ji Yu Hanyu continued to ask, what level has your physical body reached? Lin Moyu said, just reached 7th level Tao Venerable. At this point, Old Tree added, his soul has already reached the innate stage. Achieving the Great Tao realm is no problem. Ji Yu Hanyu's mood at this moment was indescribable. 6 Great Taos, with 2 illusory type Great Taos. Being able to comprehend one illusory type Great Tao was something all cultivators dreamed of. Among the Great Tao realm beings he knew, not one could comprehend an illusory type Great Tao. Moreover, in the world of Great Tao realm beings, those who comprehended illusory type Great Taos had a natural sense of superiority. Lin Moyu hadn't just comprehended one, but 2 at once. Ji Yu Hanyu's mouth twitched uncontrollably. He wanted to say something but didn't know what to say. The atmosphere became somewhat awkward. Old Tree timely broke the awkward atmosphere. Now that the formation is set up, we just need to lure the black blood remnant soul over, right? Lin Moyu said, more or less. At present, there's over 90% chance of success. But if we want to increase the chances further, we might need to trouble Elder Ji Yu and Old Tree to enter the formation yourselves. Ji Yu Hanyu coughed lightly, no problem. Old Tree said, this old man has no problem either. Lin Moyu said, I need the 2 elders to scatter its soul within the formation, best if you can force it to use blood escape. Once blood escape is activated, its power will be greatly weakened for a short time. That way, this junior's fire can have the greatest effect. Burn it quickly, lest the night grow long and dreams multiply. Old Tree nodded. No problem, leave this to me and old Gu. Gu Hanyu asked, how do you know their power weakens after using blood escape? Lin Moyu smiled, this junior has dealt with beings from the Black Blood Great Realm before, so I know a bit. Gu Hanyu made an, sound and didn't ask further, I'll find it first and lure it over. Old Tree said, leave this kind of person-finding task to this old man. You don't need to move. He tapped his walking stick on the glacier, and a huge illusory image of a glacier tea tree immediately appeared before him. The glacier tea tree swayed constantly, and countless tiny particles flew out from the tree, spreading in all directions. Old Tree said, these are this old man's seeds. They are like this old man's eyes and can find the hiding place of the black blood remnant soul for us. The seeds, as small as dust, flew about in the 9th extreme glacier following the cold wind, bringing information back to Old Tree. After just half an hour, Old Tree's mouth curved into a smile, I've found it. At this time, the seeds in the air began to converge, forming an illusory path. Gu Hanyu said, let's go lure it over. That fellow just used blood escape once, probably hasn't fully recovered yet. Lin Moyu said, it's too soon after the last time. It might not come. Old Tree smiled, with this old man here, don't worry about it not coming. Just wait here. As they spoke, the two had already gone towards the distance. Lin Moyu waited quietly in place. He didn't waste time either, taking out the jade tablet to continue studying divine runes. He wanted to systematically learn about divine runes and cross-reference his previous experience and insights on formations and runes with divine runes, finally achieving integration. After succeeding, he would be able to draw divine runes, which would be more effective than runes. Time flew by as he researched divine runes. Lin Moyu didn't know how long had passed when an aura from the distance suddenly woke him. They're here. Two powerful auras were racing towards him. Old Tree and Gu Hanyu had returned, and with them came an aura that made people feel disgusted. The Great Dao's aversion was rapidly growing. Lin Moyu knew the two had brought back the Black Blood Remnant soul, and it seemed to have gone very smoothly. Lin Moyu was secretly puzzled. Given how cunning the Black Blood Remnant soul was, and that it hadn't fully recovered after just using blood escape, how could it fall for the trap? Seeing two Great Dao realm beings, it should have fled directly. Strange, how could it be this smooth? Lin Moyu's doubts were quickly resolved. It wasn't lured over, but directly captured. Old Tree had used his true body to weave a large ball, trapping the Black Blood Remnant soul inside and forcibly bringing it back. At this time, the Black Blood Remnant soul had just used blood escape not long ago and hadn't fully recovered. It was very difficult to use blood escape again. That's why Old Tree could weave a cage to capture it. But capturing it was one thing, killing the Black Blood Remnant soul was still very difficult. If there was danger, it could still desperately use blood escape again, even escaping further, but doing so would come at a considerable cost, and recovery would be very slow. Old Tree's method of using seeds to find it wasn't foolproof either. If it had been on guard, Old Tree would have had a hard time finding it. Whether it was Old Tree or Lin Moyu's plan to kill it, they only had one chance. The Black Blood Remnant soul seemed to know this too, so even though it was captured by Old Tree, it didn't panic. As long as they didn't attack, it would wait. Once it recovered, it could use blood escape without paying a price. If they attacked, it would immediately use blood escape. The countermeasure was already there, so there was no need to panic. As they got closer, the feeling of aversion grew stronger. Finally, Old Tree brought the Black Blood Remnant soul into the sealing formation. With a thought from Lin Moyu, the sealing formation quickly activated, instantly sealing off the surrounding space. At this moment, Old Tree shouted, attack! Gu Hanyu had been waiting for a long time. A battle blade appeared in his hand. Divine runes flashed on the blade as he slashed out. Old Tree simultaneously released the cage, exposing the Black Blood Remnant soul to the blade light. Gu Hanyu's slash wasn't flashy. The power was infinitely concentrated. He didn't want to damage the sealing formation, so he didn't release blade chi, but chose close combat instead. The Black Blood Remnant soul instantly transformed into the form of the Black Blood Fist Saint, a pair of pitch-black iron fists striking out. Bang! The blade light exploded, instantly shattering the Black Blood Remnant soul's iron fists. In terms of power, it was no match for Gu Hanyu. The blade light continued unabated, slashing towards the Black Blood Remnant soul. With a scream, the Black Blood Remnant soul's body was instantly cut open. At this moment, countless branches from old tree turned into long whips, lashing out like lightning, striking the black blood remnant soul's shattered body. With a huge boom, the black blood remnant soul exploded, transforming into countless bloodlines. The bloodlines flickered in and out of visibility, impossible to lock onto. They not only penetrated space but also affected time. The blood escape technique of the Black Blood Great Realm had been an unsolvable problem since ancient times. But this time, the black blood remnant soul had hit a wall. As soon as blood escape activated, before the blood lines could fly out even a few dozen meters, they all crashed into the formation and were forcibly bounced back. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real-life player. Your girlfriend was amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my P at TR30N. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My P at Trian is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the at symbol and type a. Chapter 3378. 3378. Chapter 3378. Blood Soul Secret Technique. There should be a way to kill it. The sealing formation, after Lin Moyu's modifications, had sealed even space and time. Even the blood escape technique from the Black Blood Great Realm couldn't escape. The bloodlines quickly gathered, reassembling into the form of the Black Blood Fist Saint. But at this moment, its aura was much weaker than before. The failure of blood escape was a huge blow to it. In this state, even without Lin Moyu taking action, as long as they could keep it trapped, Jiyu Hanyu and Old Tree could kill it. However, to be on the safe side, Lin Moyu felt it was better if he didn't take action himself. Lin Moyu also had his own motives. Killing the Black Blood Remnant Soul would bring great Dao rewards. Whoever contributed more would get more great Dao rewards. Up to now, about 40% of this Black Blood Fist Saint's soul had been destroyed by him. If he could destroy this one too, he would get the lion's share of the rewards. This Black Blood Fist Saint was clearly stronger than the Outer Realm divine gods he had encountered before, so the great Dao rewards would naturally be greater. Perhaps he could condense more Dao patterns. Lin Moyu wouldn't give up such a good opportunity. Jiyu Hanyu and Old Tree coordinated perfectly, shredding the Black Blood Fist Saint again. The Black Blood Fist Saint was only weakened for a few moments. At this time, a ball of fire exploded, and the world-burning fire began to burn fiercely within the formation. Elders, please come out, Lin Moyu said to the two, while opening a passage. The two immediately left the sealing formation, and the formation quickly closed. The next second, flames shot to the sky within the sealing formation, turning the entire formation into a sea of fire. The Black Blood Remnant Soul's screams echoed throughout the formation. Although they didn't understand each other's language, the screams were unmistakable. Jiyu Hanyu narrowed his eyes and said word by word, Great Dao Essence Fire is indeed powerful. Old Tree laughed heartily, Great Dao Essence Fire is the nemesis of souls. In the future when young friend Lin goes to the Soul Void, I guess those fellows will be in for a tough time. Jiyu Hanyu said, that's hard to say. Although Great Dao Essence Fire is powerful, those fellows in the Soul Void aren't weak either. There have been people who mastered Great Dao Essence Fire before, and they were still killed by those fellows. Old Tree smiled, those few were too arrogant. Young friend Lin's personality isn't like that. I think young friend Lin will definitely be able to roam freely in the Soul Void in the future. Lin Moyu asked, how dangerous is the Soul Void really? Old Tree said, that's complicated to explain. You don't need to know now. When you become a Great Dao Realm being in the future, you'll naturally understand. Jiyu Hanyu said, although the Soul Void has always existed, it's actually the territory of Great Dao Realm beings. Entering the Soul Void before reaching the Great Dao Realm is suicide. Lin Moyu nodded slightly, this junior understands. Thank you for the guidance, Elder. Jiyu Hanyu said, it looks like it will still take a while to burn. Keep a close eye on it, don't let it escape. Lin Moyu said, don't worry, Elder. It won't escape. Lin Moyu kept watching the formation. The black blood remnant soul struggled frantically in the flames, repeatedly bombarding the formation, making it shake violently. However, no matter how much the sealing formation shook, it remained standing firm. Lin Moyu wasn't worried at all. When he fused the space-time power, there were traces of life force contained in the great Tao power. It was this life force that added resilience to the space-time power, making the entire formation become tough. This was something Lin Moyu had just discovered. He hadn't expected life force to have such an effect. Life force could not only be used on living beings, but also on great Taos, and it could give formations stronger power. By the same logic, for killing formations, death force could be used to strengthen them. My exploration of the undying great Tao is still too shallow. It seems there are many more secrets in the undying great Tao waiting for me to uncover. Lin Moyu realized that the wonders of the undying great Tao were far beyond what he could see on the surface. His understanding of life and death force was still far from enough. The Black Blood Fist Saint's power grew weaker and weaker. Towards the end, the remnant soul couldn't even maintain its form. Finally, after 2 hours of burning, the Black Blood remnant soul was completely burned away, not even leaving ashes behind. The great Tao's aversion completely disappeared. Lin Moyu breathed a sigh of relief, mission accomplished. Old Tree now wore a kind smile, good, another one dealt with. Now only the last one remains. Ji Yu Hanyu said, that one is easy to deal with. Most of the strange treasure's power was used to suppress it back then. After so many years, even if it's not dead, it has very little power left. Old Tree wasn't as optimistic as Ji Yu Hanyu, the one in the endless glacier is the main body. Although it's been suppressed for so many years, it's still not easy to deal with. Otherwise, we wouldn't have used most of the power to suppress it back then. Lin Moyu asked, even though it's the main body, it only has a bit over 30% of the soul. Is there something special about it? Ji Yu Hanyu said, this Black Blood Fist Saint had reached the 7th Saint level, equivalent to our 7th grade innate soul. In the Black Blood Great Realm, once you enter the Saint level, you have a chance to obtain Blood Soul secret techniques. And there's a chance to obtain one with each advancement. That fellow advanced 3 times and obtained 2 Blood Soul secret techniques. One that we know of is the Blood Devouring secret technique. After using this technique, it can control the enemy's blood. At best, it can greatly reduce the enemy's combat power. At worst, it can make the enemy self-destruct. Old Tree and I have suffered from this technique before. Old Tree immediately said, don't talk nonsense. You suffered, not me. I don't have blood, only tree sap. That fellow couldn't affect me. Ji Yu Hanyu said, although it couldn't make you self-destruct, it still weakened your combat power by at least 20%. Old Tree didn't speak. Obviously Ji Yu Hanyu was right, and he had indeed been affected. Controlling the enemy's blood was just a concept. As long as it's a living being, it has blood. The tree sap in Old Tree's body was his blood, and it would be affected all the same. Lin Moyu said, what about the other Blood Soul secret technique? Old Tree shook his head, we know it has 2 Blood Soul secret techniques, but we've never seen it use the other one, so we don't know what it is. Lin Moyu asked curiously, if it hasn't been used, how do you know it has 2 Blood Soul secret techniques? Old Tree said, there are marks on its main body. The marks are like bloodlines running through its entire body. Each mark represents a Blood Soul secret technique, and it has 2. Lin Moyu nodded, so the 2 elders are worried about its other Blood Soul secret technique, right? Old Tree said, yes, Blood Soul secret techniques are all very powerful. The unknown is the most frightening. Some Blood Soul secret techniques can allow those from the Black Blood realm to recover to peak combat power in a short time. If that's the case, it would be very troublesome. We're not afraid, but we're worried young friend might be in danger, and young friend's formation might not be able to trap it. Ji Yu Hanyu said, no matter what Blood Soul secret technique it is, we have to go, unless you want to guard this place for the rest of your life. The 2 of them needed to kill this Black Blood Fist Saint to leave the 9 Extremes Glacier. Lin Moyu said, Elder Ji Yu is right. No matter what secret technique it has, we have to go kill it. And this junior isn't so easy to kill. Even if I can't win, I believe I can at least self-destruct. If the opponent is really suppressed there should be a way to kill it. Old Tree gritted his teeth, indeed, that's right. Let's go then, find a way to kill it. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real Life Player. Your Girlfriend Was Amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my P at TR30N. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My P at Trian is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the at symbol and type a. Chapter 3379, 3379. Chapter 3379, for public and private reasons, we must go. 2 old men and 1 young man, 2 people in 1 tree, with the same thought in mind, crossed the 9 extremes and stepped into the endless glacier. On the way, Ji-Yu Hanyu briefly explained the situation of the endless glacier. This strange treasure had fallen into his hands back then. Although in the end it took both of them to activate the treasure, Ji-Yu Hanyu had been the main one in charge at the time. So Ji-Yu Hanyu knew more information than Old Tree. Most of the strange treasure's power was concentrated in the endless glacier. After tearing apart the Black Blood Fist Saint, its soul's main body was also suppressed in the endless glacier. Ji-Yu Hanyu said, "This strange treasure is very powerful. I can only control a small part of it. This small part can be divided into inner and outer portions. The 9 extremes glacier is the outer portion, while the endless glacier is the inner portion. The inner portion's power is stronger than the outer. The inner portion forms its own space, evolving into the endless glacier, isolating it from heaven and earth, used to suppress the Black Blood Fist Saint's main body. Only this way can we be absolutely sure." Old Tree sighed at this point. What a pity. Our power is limited. If our power was strong enough to fully activate the strange treasure, we could have directly killed the Black Blood Fist Saint. We wouldn't have had to be trapped here for so many years. Lin Moyu asked with some curiosity, "How did Elder obtain this strange treasure?" Ji-Yu Hanyu shook his head, "That cannot be said." Old Tree chuckled, "I've asked this question before too, but his answer was the same as just now." Since he wouldn't say, Lin Moyu knew it was useless to ask further. There must be a reason for not saying, and Lin Moyu guessed there must be deeper reasons behind it. Lin Moyu changed the subject. "After killing that Black Blood Fist Saint, will the 2 elders return to the Outer Great Tao?" Ji-Yu Hanyu said, "Yes." Old Tree added, "Things aren't as simple as you think. Killing him is just the hard condition for returning to the Outer Great Tao. Besides this, there are some other things to complete. We'll probably have to stay here for a while longer. But that's our private business. It won't take up young friend's time." As he spoke, Old Tree glanced at Ji-Yu Hanyu. "Old Ji-Yu, are you made of wood? Can't you understand what young friend Lin is saying?" Ji-Yu Hanyu wasn't stupid. How could he not understand? He took out the bloodline jade tablet Lin Moyu had brought and began drawing divine runes in the void. From Ji-Yu Hanyu's fingertips, droplets of liquid like water kept appearing. These liquids became the ink for the divine runes. Lin Moyu could see that the essence of the liquid was soul power, but it also contained some real substances. This way, the intangible soul power took form, becoming a half-virtual, half-real existence that could be used to draw divine runes. Ji-Yu Hanyu drew a simple divine rune and fused it into the bloodline jade tablet. A moment later, he handed the bloodline jade tablet to Lin Moyu. "Just take this jade tablet back with you." Lin Moyu said, "Thank you, Elder." Ji-Yu Hanyu nodded slightly, without much expression. He didn't talk much, although not to the point of being stingy with words. When he didn't need to speak, he basically wouldn't. Lin Moyu felt that Ji-Yu Hanyu was somewhat similar to his former self. It wasn't that he was unwilling to talk or didn't know how to talk, but that he felt there was no need to say much sometimes. Ji-Yu Hanyu was probably the same. If something could be understood without words, there was no need for explanation. They arrived at the edge of the 9 Extremes Glacier. Ahead was a vast expanse of white, with endless mist obscuring everything in front. Lin Moyu could sense that the white mist contained powerful forces, blocking all who tried to enter. Ji-Yu Hanyu said, "Ahead is the endless glacier. The cold will be even more terrifying. Even 9th level Dao Venerables would be frozen to death in an extremely short time." As he spoke, he looked at Lin Moyu, meaning to ask, "Are you sure you want to go down with us?" Before Lin Moyu could speak, Old Tree had already answered for him, of course young friend Lin will come with us. Otherwise, with just the two of us, we might not be able to kill that fellow. What if, I'm saying what if, you don't want to be trapped here for another million years? Ji Yu Hanyu looked at Lin Moyu, whether to go or not, let him decide for himself. Don't speak for him. Lin Moyu said, this junior naturally wants to go. Of course Lin Moyu had to go. From a broader perspective, the Black Blood Fist Saint was an enemy of the Origin Continent, and he was a part of the Origin Continent. He couldn't miss any opportunity to deal with it. From a personal perspective, killing the Black Blood Fist Saint's main body would bring him great Dao rewards, which would be extremely beneficial for his cultivation. This was an opportunity. For both public and private reasons, he had to go. Old Tree chuckled, I told you, how could young friend Lin not go? Your words were unnecessary. Ji Yu Hanyu nodded, if that's the case, then let's go. He waved his hand, and the mist ahead began to churn, quickly revealing a passage. A strong cold current rushed out from the passage, whipping up a fierce wind that blew towards them. The cold current was so intense that even 9th level Dao Venerables would be intimidated. Lin Moyu could sense that within the cold current was a terrifying great Dao power. When the cold current blew against his body, it felt like the ice great Dao was crashing into him. However, the power great Dao didn't disappoint him. He was still immune even to such a cold current. Apart from feeling a slight chill, Lin Moyu wasn't frostbitten at all. Seeing that Lin Moyu was unharmed, Ji Yu Hanyu then said, follow me. Old Tree also said softly, young friend Lin, walk in the middle. This old man will be at the back. Letting Lin Moyu walk in the middle was actually to protect him. Although the Black Blood Fist Saint was suppressed inside, after so many years, who knew what the situation inside was really like? They passed through the mist and entered the endless glacier. Cold currents rushed over one after another. Before them was a world shimmering with silver light. In the sky, wind and clouds swirled, as cold currents formed vortexes spinning in the air. Ji Yu Hanyu said in a low voice, be careful of these ice vortexes. Sometimes they fall down, don't get caught in them, or it will be dangerous. Lin Moyu's expression was also slightly grave at this point. He could sense that the ice vortexes contained shocking power, not just cold. Once caught in them, the scene wouldn't be pretty. Old Tree was clearly also seeing the endless glacier for the first time. He couldn't help but sigh, I didn't expect the endless glacier to be like this. It's very different from what this old man imagined. Lin Moyu didn't know what kind of endless glacier Old Tree had imagined, but he could sense strong great Dao power here. Standing here was like standing within the great Dao. Lin Moyu asked, Old Tree, what exactly is the outer great Dao like? Old Tree chuckled, the outer great Dao. That's a magical yet boring place. It's hard to say exactly what it's like. The world of each great Dao is different. But, there is one point that's quite similar to here, which is the great Dao power. In each great Dao power is emitted constantly. Besides cultivation, great Dao power can also be used to. Ji Yu Hanyu suddenly interrupted Old Tree's words, I've found that fellow. Let's go. As he spoke, Ji Yu Hanyu gave Old Tree a look. Old Tree immediately understood and smiled, let's go then. Lin Moyu saw Ji Yu Hanyu's action and roughly understood what he meant from his gaze. He was actually telling Old Tree to stop talking. The world within the Great Dao wasn't suitable for Lin Moyu to know about yet. Old Tree suddenly transmitted, this old man spoke out of turn. Some things indeed aren't convenient to tell you yet. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I have completely translated the following books. Making Friends with Streamers by Hacking. The 100th Regression of the Max Level Player. Real-Life Player. Your Girlfriend Was Amazing. Corruption in the Dungeon. Check them out on my P at TR30N. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My P at Trian is now up, go to email protected translate toki. Remove the at symbol and type a. Chapter 3380, 3380. Chapter 3380, suppression became protection instead. The Great Dao is formless, this is a principle known to all cultivators. Every cultivator has their own understanding of the Great Dao. For 10,000 cultivators, there are 10,000 different understandings of the Great Tao. The Great Tao appears differently to each cultivator. What Old Tree said was certainly not wrong, but it was only his own perception of the Great Tao. If Lin Moyu was told directly now, it could very likely cause him to concretize the image of the Great Tao in his mind, which would actually be harmful rather than beneficial to cultivation. This is also why when many people teach the Tao to younger generations, they speak of principles rather than telling cultivators specifically what to do or what the Great Tao looks like. So Ji Yu Hanyu interrupted Old Tree's words, not letting him continue. Old Tree also realized this point and wasn't angry at all. Rather, he felt a bit embarrassed. He had almost done harm with good intentions. Lin Moyu naturally understood Ji Yu Hanyu's meaning as well, and wasn't angry at all. He nodded slightly to Old Tree, indicating he understood. Ji Yu Hanyu led the way at the front, heading into the icy depths. Through his connection to the strange treasure, he could sense the general location of the Black Blood Fist Saint's remnant soul. After walking for half a day, Ji Yu Hanyu's expression suddenly changed. That fellow has escaped. Old Tree's expression also became grave. How is that possible? Didn't you say you had suppressed it back then? Ji Yu Hanyu said, it was suppressed back then, but after so many years, it's normal for it to escape. However, even if it has escaped, it won't be doing well. I can sense that the suppressing power still exists. Let's go take a look. Ji Yu Hanyu quickened his pace, rapidly heading in the direction he sensed. Lin Moyu noticed that the ice vortexes in the sky were gradually changing. The ice vortexes that had originally been spread across the sky like countless stars began to become agitated. They were constantly converging towards a certain direction, then gradually dispersing again. After walking a bit further, Lin Moyu saw ice vortexes falling from the sky, turning into tornado storms whirling across the endless glacier. Terrifying power continuously spread in all directions. Lin Moyu immediately felt layer upon layer of pressure, making even movement difficult for a moment. This was the suppressing power of the endless glacier. Even from far away, with just negligible aftershocks, Lin Moyu felt he would be suppressed to death. This was true Great Tao power, even stronger than the Great Tao power wielded by Ji Yu Hanyu. Faced with this power, he felt so insignificant. Ji Yu Hanyu let out a low shout, emitting powerful force from his body to block all the pressure for Lin Moyu. Old Tree lightly tapped his walking stick on the ground, and a branch immediately flew out, gently landing on Lin Moyu's shoulder. Lin Moyu felt his body lighten, no longer troubled by pressure. They continued advancing towards the tornado storms. Soon, they finally saw the true situation within the tornado storms. Where the tornado storms touched the glacier, a black shadow was slowly moving. Its speed wasn't fast, but each step was very steady. No matter how strong the force of the tornado storms, they couldn't budge the black shadow at all. The moment they saw the black shadow, a strong feeling of aversion arose in their souls. Faced with the Black Blood Fist Saint's main body, the aversion was even stronger than before. Killing intent flashed in Lin Moyu's eyes. Not just him, but killing intent also showed in Ji Yu Hanyu and Old Tree's eyes. Despite the aversion, Lin Moyu didn't lose his rationality. His thoughts remained clear. From the Black Blood Fist Saint, he could sense an incomparably terrifying power. With this power, killing him would be very easy. The opponent could probably turn him to dust with just a light punch. Old Tree murmured, it really did escape. Ji Yu Hanyu said, it escaped, but hasn't completely broken free. Lin Moyu also saw that the Black Blood Fist Saint hadn't truly escaped. The suppressing power was still entangled around it. It was like a target, constantly attacked by ice vortexes. The Black Blood Fist Saint's power was very strong, and its recovery speed was shockingly fast. But under the continuous heavy pressure of the ice vortexes, its power was constantly being consumed, unable to truly recover. It clearly knew they had arrived, but couldn't even react. In other words, the current Black Blood Fist Saint was just a slowly moving target, with little power to resist. But the troublesome part was also here, because it had escaped suppression, it was now enveloped by ice vortexes. The ice vortexes were not only attacking it, but had also become its protection. For Ji Yu Hanyu to harm the Black Blood Fist Saint, he would first have to deal with the ice vortexes. Old Tree also saw this point and frowned, asking in a low voice, is there any good way? The more Ji Yu Hanyu looked, the graver his expression became. I can't control the ice vortexes, and even if I could, I can't remove them. With its power, once free of the ice vortex's restraint, it would immediately escape. If we give it any time to recover, it will cause big trouble. Old Tree said, I know all that you've said. I'm asking if you have any good ideas. Ji Hanyu answered bluntly, no. Old Tree couldn't think of any good ideas either. Inside, who would have thought the ice vortexes would become its protection instead? Are we just going to watch helplessly, unable to do anything? Now a special balance had formed between the ice vortexes and the Black Blood Fist Saint. Neither could do anything to the other. This state had probably lasted for many years and wouldn't change in a short time. If they waited for an opportunity, they might not get one even after 1,000,000 years. Lin Moyu's thoughts raced as he considered various methods. Because of the ice vortexes, terrifying great Tao power permeated heaven and earth. The ceiling formation definitely couldn't be used. Even if he made a formation disk for the ceiling formation, it would be torn apart by the great Tao power the moment the formation formed. Moreover, under the blockade of the ice vortexes, he also couldn't use great Tao enemy lock to lock onto the opponent. Corpse explosion couldn't be used, and he couldn't throw the world-burning fire onto the Black Blood Fist Saint either. The ice vortexes truly protected it tightly, leaving no way to approach. Unable to think of any method, Old Tree could only look at Lin Moyu. Young friend Lin, do you have any ideas? Lin Moyu said, under the protection of the ice vortexes, we really can't do anything to it. I can't even lock onto it. If I could lock onto it, we might be able to think of something. Ji Hanyu's eyes brightened slightly, you know Great Tao enemy lock. Lin Moyu made an affirmative sound, yes. Ji Hanyu immediately asked, you've mastered the luck Great Tao. Do you use the luck Great Tao to lock on? Lin Moyu nodded, indicating that was correct. Ji Hanyu said, using an illusory type Great Tao to lock on is difficult to break, even for the ice vortexes. If I help you open a gap, can you use the luck Great Tao to lock onto it? Lin Moyu thought for a moment, it should be possible. I'm 80% confident. Ji Hanyu seemed to trust Lin Moyu very much. Without even asking what Lin Moyu would do after completing the Great Tao enemy lock, he immediately said, good, then I'll help you open a gap. As he spoke, Ji Hanyu took out his battle blade and charged towards the ice vortexes. Lin Moyu's will stirred, and the faint luck Great Tao appeared, locking onto Ji Hanyu at the same time. Luck, enhance. In an instant, dragon roars sounded as Ji Hanyu's luck sharply increased. His luck transformed into a dragon, bringing great fortune. Asterisk 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 asterisk. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a